WGSO 990 AM. Loving kindness, and an active presence while developing the whole person, academically and spiritually. Visit archbishopshaw.org to discover all things Shaw. Now let's head live to the West Bank for the call of the game with WGSO's Jude Young of SportsNOLA.com, WGSO's Rick Gailey of SportsNOLA.com and WHNO-TV, and WGSO's Emmanuel Peppers, Archbishop Shaw, class of 2003.
The clouds are clearing and football is about ready to happen here at Haas-Memphis Stadium, where the Shaw Eagles open district play, Catholic League play against the Holy Cross Tigers tonight. Shaw coming in at 2-1 on the year. Holy Cross also 2-1. And for the Eagles, a victory last time out in a game you watched, we hope, on SportsNOLA.com as well as on WHNO TV Channel 20 in New Orleans. A 44-14 victory over West Bank rival West Jefferson. West Jeff, by the way, won today 55-7 over Bonneville in the first game of the doubleheader here at Haas-Memphis. You heard earlier on WGSO, of course, an absolute classic. Brother Martin defeating John Curtis in overtime 40-37 to gain a district victory there. Last night at Tad Gormley, it was St. Augustine gaining their first win of the year, upsetting Jesuit 32-20. At least we think it's an upset. Do we really know these teams at this juncture? As the coach Rick Gailey joins me. This is a wide-open Catholic League. We think it looks like there's a cream of the crop at the top when you talk about Brother Martin, John Curtis, and Archbishop Rummel, who, of course, is playing out of state tonight against one of the top programs in the country, Don Bosco Prep. We'll try to get you updates on that game as well. But this matchup tonight, Holy Cross and Shaw, they would like to start the league off on the right foot against each other. Really evenly matched situation tonight between these two teams like we've seen the past few years in this rivalry.
That's some very good points, Jude, because the Catholic League, I believe right now, has become what the Catholic League we knew before Katrina. Good teams from top to bottom, good players, good coaching, that every week is going to be highly competitive. There's going to be some natural separation as you go through the season. That's why you keep scoring, you have standings and the like. But every team is capable of an outstanding effort each week, and the Catholic League is really coming into its own. Or with the addition of John Curtis, the Catholic Christian League is really coming into its own. And tonight, I think, typifies that balance. Two teams that have a lot of similarities, two teams that are very well coached, very well prepared, and good players, and very similar in the style of play that we're going to see. We're actually going to see a lot of snaps from a center to a quarterback, and not many shotgun snaps. We'll see some during the course of the year, of the evening. But going all the way back to the fact that Scott Bainsfather, the head coach of Shaw, started his head coaching career at Holy Cross, and then moving forward from that. In fact, he really, in my estimation, started turning Holy Cross around. They had some difficult years, and when Scott got over there, really started getting Holy Cross competitive once again. And then Barry Wilson came in after that and kept up the tradition, and now they rebuilt the school after Katrina, and Eric Roboto, an Archbishop Rummel graduate, has taken over the reins there from Barry Wilson. So a lot of similarities, including the coaches. Both teams have excellent running backs. Trey Turner for Holy Cross coming back from injury, and Trey Regas for Shaw, just outstanding. And both schools are coming into this game with victories over rivals. Shaw beating West Jeff, doing a great job in beating West Jefferson 44-14, and then the great rivalry for the 46th time Holy Cross and Chalmette played down in the parish, and Holy Cross came away with a victory there.
And that win looking even better after what Chalmette did last night, upsetting Landry Walker, one of the best local 5A schools, 17-12, an outstanding victory for the Owls, and just another click in the column when you talk about how good Holy Cross has to feel coming into this matchup. They also have a two-quarterback situation, but they've been able to weather the storm of Kyle Schexnayder, their senior quarterback, being out injured so far this season. He may be available tonight. And how about Chandler Fields, a freshman quarterback, able to step into the breach, if you will, and play very well for Holy Cross. So decisions to be made for Eric Roboto on one sideline. We'll talk to the head coach of the Eagles now. We got a chance to speak with him a little while ago, and as he tries to deal with what quarterback am I going to see and knows the importance of this particular game tonight.
We're joined now by the head coach of the Shaw Eagles, Scott Bain's father. And Coach, you know this matchup, you know the guys on the other sidelines, and you know how important this game is to start Catholic League play.
Yeah, it's important for both of us. We're starting Catholic League play a week earlier, with the addition of John Curtis this year than we ever had, so it got in our face pretty early this year. The games have been mixed up. We played Holy Cross last game of district last year, and they the first game of district this year, so and that's a little bit different. But both teams are looking for momentum going into the rest of the Catholic League. It's what you did in pre-district now is meaningless. Both teams are trying to be 1-0 in district, and that's what's most important for tonight to get a leg up on the rest of the league. I think Holy Cross is really good. I think they've been improving since week one. I think they got a lot of talent. Obviously, they got some college players on the team, and I think they poised for a pretty good year.
And you know what you're going to do in a matchup similar to how you won last year against the Tigers, and that's feed the ball to Trey Regis and try to control the clock. Yeah,
well, we'll do what we can to try to control the game, and they'll do what they can to try to take Trey away. He's obviously our workhorse, and he had a bunch of carries last week, so he had a good game last week, so hopefully he can have another good game. If we can control the clock and keep our defense off the field, and then we feel pretty good. If they 3-and-out us a few times, or if we put the ball on the ground, maybe, and it could be a problem then.
How much of a challenge is it in this matchup on the flip side, knowing that Holy Cross has had to use a younger quarterback here in Chandler Fields, just a freshman, but he's played awfully well.
Good.
Yeah, pocket passer, and then Kyle Scheck-Snyder could play tonight, and he's more.
Right. Yeah. I think I get the feeling that we may see both of them. So. We faced him last year, and then the young kid, obviously, has been playing really well this year. There's nothing wrong with playing a young kid, let him take his lumps, particularly if he's getting some wins like they have been, and he's been improving, and he's really good. So the future looks very bright for the next 3 years for, in the quarterback position at Holy Cross. That kid's going to be a really good player.
And you have experience with Keller at quarterback. Talk about his development over the past couple of seasons. You're able to rely on him to be able to make things happen when things break down, and clearly has a great understanding of the offense.
Yeah, I think, he gives us an added dimension that, we don't just have to hand the ball off every down the tray, and he can get carries, he can make throws. He's got, 5 or 6 touchdown passes for the year. He manages the game well. He's a 2-year starter at quarterback and a 3-year starter for the team. So, we rely on him equally as much as we rely on Trey. He just doesn't get as many carries.
A matchup like this, after 2 games in the Catholic League so far this weekend, where the quote-unquote underdog won. In this league, any given game, anybody can win it, and this matchup is probably about as even as any in the district.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty even game last year. The game came down to the last bit of the last drive or so. We got a chance to run the clock out. It's a pretty close game the whole time. I think they're coming in with a little bit of momentum after their last 2 games with Hammond and Chalmette. We won our first one, then lost one, and then picked up another win against West Jeff. So I think both schools feel pretty good about where they're at, and this is going to be an interesting, tight matchup, I think.
One of them's going to feel a little better a little later tonight, Coach. Good luck.
All right.
And hopefully, if you're Scott Bain's father in the Eagles, it'll be Archbishop Shaw who will be enjoying a victory tonight in what we would think will be an exciting one here in the Catholic League on WGSO and SportsNola.com. As a matter of fact, we'll take a break and come back with opening kickoff. It's Archbishop Shaw and Holy Cross. This presentation of Archbishop Shaw football is brought to you in part by, and it's important to know about the annual open house for prospective students on Monday, November 2nd from 6 to 8 p.m. Come tour the campus and meet the outstanding staff at Archbishop Shaw. See what Shaw has to offer. You can find out more by visiting archbishopshaw.org. We'll be back in a moment and get you ready for football. This is Archbishop Shaw football on WGSO 990 AM and at SportsNola.com.
Archbishop Shaw High School will host its annual open. Please visit academyofourlady.org. The deadline for entries is October 3rd.
Goals, we share that same commitment to local athletes. Please join me in supporting our area schools and their talented athletes.
Ready for kickoff. We'll have the coin toss in a moment here at Haas Memphis as Archbishop Shaw takes on Holy Cross in this matchup tonight. We now go down to the sideline for the third member of our broadcast team. I believe Emmanuel Peppis is ready. And Trey Regis, Emmanuel, you know he's the key to this one tonight for the Eagles.
Thanks, Jude, and thanks, Rick, and good evening to you guys. And like you guys mentioned in the pregame, maybe the most evenly matched game in district play. And though Coach Bainsfather did tab as the non-district play is a little bit meaningless, absolute confidence builder for both teams. The win that you guys mentioned for Holy Cross over Chalmette looks a lot better now. Shaw's had a couple of big offensive performances. Key tonight, obviously going to be ground control. And for the Eagles defensively, trying to get that front seven more involved, get some more penetration, being able to put a little bit of a bottle on Turner and Holy Cross's running game, trying to get some early stops to get the defense some confidence. They have given up some points a couple of weeks ago to Charlie's Catholic, giving up 37, so that'll be a huge key for the Eagles early on tonight. Back to you guys.
No question about it. A couple of the running backs as we previewed here, Turner and Regis. Last year, Coach Trey Regis, 228 yards and a 27-21 victory over Holy Cross and 28 carries. He's a workhorse. Last week against West Jefferson, how about nearly 280 yards on the ground and well over 300 all-purpose? He
is an outstanding player, and seems that he's been playing there for a very long time. We've called a lot of games with Trey in the game, but just an outstanding player, and it's going to come down to which defense, not unlike a lot of games, but especially this week, because the defenses for both schools are the least tested, the one that has the greatest amount of question marks. Both offenses can be effective, and they've been efficient so far. The defenses have not been, and they're both capable of being run on as well. So Trey Turner and Regis are going to get a lot of work tonight, and what defense is going to step up?
It'll be exciting to see on sportsnola.com, and we're glad you can join us either on the website or on WGSO 990 AM tonight. About to kick things off, Shaw in their home green jerseys with white pants, the white helmets with the green S and the green stripe down the middle, and Holy Cross and their road white tops with navy blue pants, navy blue helmets with the interlocking HC in gold on the helmets, the gold stripe as well. Shaw won the toss and will receive the opening kickoff, coming from our right to our left for the radio listeners. And in this one, Shaw would like to be able to establish the ground game right away, and it'll be interesting to see exactly how Holy Cross approaches things. They've got some Division I talent on their defense, and that matchup early on will be key.
And taking the ball early gives you some indication that they think offensively they've got a better chance of doing something early in the game than depending on their defense. Because if Shaw has had a weakness, it's that other teams are capable of running the ball on them.
Gavin Broussard will kick it away, a senior for the Tigers. And back deep for Archbishop Shaw, Bradley Davis, along with Sean Michael Dumas. And we are underway. A short kickoff that's taken around the 20-yard line by an up back and swarmed pretty quickly past the 25, fighting for what he can, and down to about the 27. There's Trenton King, who is a key defender for Shaw. We'll talk about a lot tonight. But the Eagles have the football first, and they're led out onto the field by Matt Keller, the senior quarterback who's been a starter for 3 years, 2 at quarterback, 13 for 28 on the year. He doesn't throw it much, but big plays have been a part of the play-action passing game, 315 yards and 6 touchdowns through 3 games, but we know we're going to see a lot of number 5, Trey Regis.
Right, and Matt Keller is certainly going to be a key, as any quarterback is. He's been around a long time and knows how to manage an offense.
Shaw will come out in the shotgun with Regis to Keller's right, and it will be a keeper for Keller as room around the right side to the 30. Takes a vicious hit before going out of bounds. Wow, that was quite the shot from Kyle Myers, the Florida State commitment from his cornerback position, sending a message early as Keller found some room initially, but took the shot as a result.
And there you saw the example that Coach Bain's father is trusting Keller to make the read, the ride, decide whether to give the ball to Regis or keep it. But Kyle Turner sends a message early, as you said.
Gain of 3. Now Denzel McCoy, another running back option for the Eagles in the backfield to the right of Keller. Regis lined up left and will take the handoff coming to the near sideline. Has room, breaks attack to the 40. Runs over a defender and dragging tacklers past the 45 to the 46-yard line. Regis delivers the blow this time around with a big first down run.
Running his own play to the right side with the lead blocker. It's a side. There's a defender, unblocked defender in the hole. And he just ended up grasping air. And that's what a great running back does. Doesn't just get you the yards that are blocked, but he can make defenders miss in close quarters. And that was a great example on that play.
Gain of 13 for one of the top 20. According to PRI, the fantastic Wednesday night show on Channel 20 in New Orleans, as Regis takes a handoff left side, and gang tackling by Holy Cross, only about a gain of 2 to the 38-yard line, and Turner, Regis, it's chocolate ice cream or vanilla. It's good either way. You've got great options. 2 fantastic running backs. Talk about the comparison there.
They're beautiful to watch, and the biggest key is that they have great vision and they can make people miss. And that was a good defensive stand there on that play by Holy Cross on the outside zone.
Keller under center, play action fake, now under pressure, deep behind the line of scrimmage, and will be sacked down, getting some yardage back to his own 43, but it didn't develop down the field there, trying to look for the long ball. No surprise for what this offense tends to want to do, and Scott Bird, the senior defensive lineman, gets the sack. But there were several Tigers in the backfield as they attacked Keller there, and again, you need the play action game to work if you're Shaw to be able to have balance tonight. It didn't work there.
No, he did. Keller didn't come off the deeper routes because the back in the flat west was open, didn't come to him soon enough, and was thrown for a loss.
So 3rd and 13. Now Keller in the shotgun, Regis to his left. Has time now, throwing deep down the near sideline, looking for Patrick Allen, and Myers, who we talked about, an outstanding cover man, step for step, a bit overthrown, but he was blanketed. Was Allen, the big play wide out for the Eagles, and Shaw will have to punt.
Got pitched to the sideline, didn't have much of a space to try to squeeze the ball in there, and the ball got thrown well over the top, but Shaw cannot get off schedule as he did. A short gain of only 2 yards on first down, thrown for a loss on second down. They've got to stay on schedule if they want to control the football.
Peyton Dufour, who also place kicks, back to punt for Shaw, looping snap, and he will do a running rugby kick, almost blocked there. The near sideline inside the 30, and probably will be marked out of bounds right about there. So no chance to return back there for Myers, who's dangerous with the ball in his hands as well. Holy Cross will have the football for their first possession as it's marked, it looks like, at the 28-yard line, and we'll get a chance to see what Holy Cross does, at least opening things up now, Coach, at quarterback. Will it be Chandler Fields, the freshman, leading the offense? And it looks like it is a pocket passer, and so rare to see a freshman in the Catholic League, but they'll go with the 5'8", 170-pounder here in the shotgun. And we'll see what they do with the first play of the game with a pistol look and a play-action fake. Here's Fields throwing and has a man wide open. It's Leighton Johnson for a first down and more to the 40. Trenton and company bring him down, but not until he reaches the 45-yard line. Play action early, working well for the Tigers for their first down.
That was a bootleg out of a pistol formation, faking the run to the left and then bootlegging to the right, and you can see what Chandler Fields can be effective because he immediately went to the back in the front, didn't get greedy, just stayed within the offense and got a solid gain out of it. Very well execute.
Gain of 17 for Leighton Johnson, who may tote the rock a little bit tonight as well. And it's a handoff this time around, and a good open field tackle by Archbishop Shaw. Tyrone Miles from his defensive line spot, spinning Turner on his first carry for a loss of about 1.
And tried to cut it back. They were running inside zone to the right. He tried to cut it back to the left side, but Shaw had it very well squeezed off. There was no place for him to go. That's called great gap integrity by the defense. Everybody in their place, not opening up a seam.
8:20 and counting first quarter. No score between Shaw and Holy Cross. 2nd and 11 for the Tigers, and they will hand it off to the big man Turner, who has room and breaks a tackle into Shaw territory, very close to a first down, right up the middle to the 45, and depends on the spot. Big hole opening up that time around for Turner, an outstanding running back, as we mentioned. It looks like he's put on some bulk this season.
That's what I was thinking as well. That one of the noticeable differences is that Trey Turner is bigger than we remember seeing him in the past, and that size played well on that one. There were a couple of attempts at on tackles that he was able to run out of and gain the 10 yards for the first down.
An Arizona State commitment who also is somebody under consideration for the Major League Baseball draft coming up next summer. He has an interesting decision perhaps to make, an outstanding outfielder and a runner. It is a first down for Holy Cross. They won their first play in Shaw territory, and it's fumbled by Fields. Bad center exchange there, but Fields able to fall on it before any Shaw defender can get near him. Loss of 2, and smart by Fields not to do anything fancy there. Fall on the football, protect the rock.
He was very fortunate to be able to fall on it, because when he came loose, it squirted to the left side away from him, and the offensive line had done a good enough job getting off the ball that it didn't get kicked by any of the feet of the offensive line. And if they'd have allowed any penetration, the defense would have been able to recover. But now it leaves a 2nd and 12.
From the 47-yard line of Archbishop Shaw, looping snap, but Fields will do a delayed draw return inside the 45, pulling one tackler close to about the 40-yard line. And we see a lot of second-level swarming from Archbishop Shaw. A 3-5 is the base defense, which is a little bit unusual at the high school level, Coach.
Well, it is, unless you're playing against a lot of spread teams, and people will come up with that. It provides a lot of versatility and a lot of stunning and blitzing opportunities, and that's what the Shaw Eagles are going to have to do. They're going to have to really try to confuse the blocking patterns of the Tigers.
Gain of 6 on the play, 3rd and 6 from the 41. Fields will drop straight back to throw, shotgun, and fire, and a strike to the far sideline. The 35, and it looks like they're saying that he dropped it. We're going to get a decision here. He would have it, but he will be short by about a half a yard. Impressive on the freshman on that pass. There's no decision time. The clock's going to go for it.
Yeah, 4th and less than a yard. Very good timing on the quick out route.
Gain of 5, and they'll just go with the quarterback keeper here. And a big surge by the Tiger offensive line. Gets it by 20. Gain of about 4. Holy Cross is on the move as they convert the first 4th down of this game for the team near the halfway point of this opening quarter.
Very smart move by the Tigers. Not even huddling, running up to the line of scrimmage, getting set, tight formation, snapping it on a quick count so that the defense didn't have a chance to get their cleats dug in the ground, and a great surge to be able to drive for the first down.
It's a night game, and we still, though, have the early season water break for hydration, and we'll take it with the officials on the field. 6:06 to go first quarter. Shaw and Holy Cross scoreless here on WGSO and SportsNOLA.com. Well, I'm going to assume that we didn't take the break back in the studios downtown in New Orleans. We'll try to catch that up. But 6:06 to go here, and Holy Cross on the move. And so far, you have to be impressed by Fields, able to run the offense efficiently, even overcame a mistake on the bobbled snap, looking good throwing and running the football.
Yeah, very much under control, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. So you can tell that he's done this a lot, and he's well taught in what he's supposed to do.
1st and 10 from the Shaw 32. Shotgun snap out of the pistol, handoff Turner, far sideline, and he is wrapped up for a no gain. And now a late flag, and it looks like Archbishop Shaw is going to be called for unnecessary roughness at the end of the play. Sean Michael Dumas getting a little physical on the Holy Cross bench. I believe he's the culprit.
That's what it's certainly what it looks like. It was a very short gain, but Shaw's going to bail them out, it looks like, with this penalty. A deep handoff to Turner, running the inside zone that he bounced to the outside. No, it goes against Holy Cross.
Oh, goodness. So maybe they caught the first defender for once, because we certainly saw Dumas respond to something there on the far side.
Let's hope the officials caught the initial culprit in that. 2 officials threw flags immediately. So it was obvious to them, it was on the far side of the field. So now that mistake is going to bring up a 2nd and long.
That's right. So they lose the down, and they're facing 2nd and 22 from the Shaw 45. Again, that pistol look. 3 wide receivers to the left, and Rodriguez with his first catch. That top wide out inside the 40, and brought down at about the 39-yard line by Daquan Charles. Good hitter there to try to get the ball to Darius Rodriguez in space.
And you hope to be able to further back so that you have a manageable 3rd down. You can still try to do the same thing here as well on 3rd down. You may not be able to get all of it. Now, I don't think that they're going to try to put Fields in a situation of being the playmaker, so they're going to try to get half of it here on this down so that 4th down can be a manageable down.
10th catch of the year for Rodriguez. Now 3rd and 17. Fields will drop straight back to throw, stepping up into the pocket and has room. He will throw with the line of scrimmage wide open, complete for a 1st down inside the 20 to the 10 and out of bounds. And boy, this freshman impresses again. Holy Cross finding Rodriguez, and Fields doing exactly what you want to see a quarterback do, step up into the pocket, and he was able to throw on the run and on the money.
Or he'd get all of it at one time, and that was an excellent job of Fields stepping up in the pocket, letting the rush go by him, and putting pressure on the defense, and they left a receiver open to his right, close to the boundary, and he put it right on the money.
Fields with 50 yards passing on this drive, 3 of 3. 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. He'll work under center with a man in motion behind him to the right, and it looks like a handoff straight ahead to Turner, who drags one Shaw defender to about the 7-yard line, giving him a gain of 3.
Very familiar play in the Catholic League, especially when you get in goal line and short yardage situations. So the gold zone, as I prefer to call it for the offense, red zone for the defense. They want to stop them. Gold zone for the offense. A power off tackle run with the backside guard, pulling through the hole. Very play that you see a lot in the Catholic League in goal line and short yardage. And now it's on the 7, 2nd and goal at the 7.
Turner made his debut in the 2nd quarter of last week's game for the season. Ran for over 100 yards, and now he's cut down in the backfield. Nice job again by Daquan Charles to tackle in space. Went for the legs of Turner, who fell forward to about the 5 to set up 3rd and goal.
Tried to run the outside zone play to the right, so both of the plays here inside the 10, they've attacked the left side of the Shaw Eagle defense, but good penetration by the defense, kept it to 2 yards, so now you have 3rd and 5. The ball is on the right hash mark. Tight formation again, a power eye with 3 backs behind Channel.
2 up backs in front of Turner, who takes the sweep left. He's forced back inside, but able to make a move and goes into the end zone in the end, virtually untouched, and that's just raw talent. Turner in space makes it happen for a 5-yard touchdown to put Holy Cross on the board first with 3:37 to go in the opening quarter.
Toss sweep to the power back side out of the power eye, where you had a fullback in front of the tailback and a back offset to the left. And this toss sweep, but Shaw initially had it defended very, very well. But that's been one of the issues with the Eagles so far during the course of this season, that they have difficulty finishing off plays.
A 72-yard scoring drive, and the extra point is up, and it is good by Gavin Broussard. So we'll try to take the timeout here. Holy Cross leading 7-0 over Shaw. This is Archbishop Shaw football on WGSO and at SportsNOLA.com. Well, we're painting by numbers here. We don't know if we're at a timeout or not, but we'll tell our Sports NOLA listeners, at least, as Holy Cross leads Shaw 7-0, that the Academy of Our Lady will host its annual open house on Tuesday, October 13th at 4:30, 5:30, and 6:30. Visit at theacademyofourlady.org or call 504-341-6217 for more information. So both teams have had the ball once. Shaw reached midfield and had to give it away, and Holy Cross marked 72 yards for the score. We'll take a 7-0 lead, and now another Pooch kickoff, and a difficult one to handle, and they let the ball back, and Holy Cross has it at the 31-yard line. He'll advance it, but he can't, and that will be spot actually at the 30. As one of the upbacks for Shaw stumbled at the last minute trying to field the kick, and a special teams error has given Holy Cross an opportunity to go up 2 scores early.
That is a huge, huge error. Number one, you can never let a kickoff hit the ground, especially one that they're pooching to you. You have a fair catch at your disposal that if you don't want to learn, if you think that might be risky. Very poorly handled by the Shaw Eagle kickoff return team.
And it looked like Jawan Gray was the man who tried to field at the very last moment. He stumbled and backed away from the ball, but he needed to grab a hold of that. It was live, and the only players knew were a couple of Holy Cross Tigers. And I believe the recovery, we'll have to figure out who grabbed a hold of that one. It might have been Leighton Johnson for Holy Cross. But they have the football now at the Shaw 30, leading 7-0 here early. And ideal position for their second possession. They'll line up in the pistol once again, and it's play action, and Fields has a man deep. Can he get it there, though? It is knocked away, a bit underthrown in the end zone, right down the center of the field. And the Shaw defensive back making it last-ditch play, and it's Gray who struggled a moment ago, helping redeem himself by deflecting what could have been a touchdown.
Job to take a shot. It's very wise to take a shot. There's a interference penalty that was thrown around the 20-yard line, even though the ball and the receiver were in the end zone. But take a shot after a sudden change, and that was Holy Cross's shot. Good play by the defensive back there to knock it away, but they had pass interference called, because in high school football, pass interference doesn't have to be on the football. It can be somewhere else on the field, and in fact, there's no such thing even in high school football. It's an uncatchable ball.
Right. The contact there clearly happened before the ball was released by Fields, who took a deep drop and really underthrew his man, or Rodriguez would have scored instead, or had an opportunity to catch it in the end zone. 3:25 to go, and the penalty puts Holy Cross at the Shaw 15 with a first down, and this time Turner will take the handoff, has a little bit of room, but the hole closes quickly, and their leading tackler, Trent King, the man coming up from his free safety spot, he'll be all over the field tonight for Shaw, and made a key tackle right there, holding Turner to a gain of 1.
And that's the kind of play, running the outside zone play to the left without a lead blocker, that Shaw has the best opportunity to defend, that they can use their speed, they can use their quickness, try to get off of blocks and run lateral. They have more difficulty with a direct attack than they do attacks at an angle.
A wide receiver to each side, and a little bit of confusion with the up back for Holy Cross, but now Fields will play action fake, stop and throw, fire into the end zone. It's tipped and almost caught on the deflection. Would have been a score. Well defended on the play by Shaw, but it looked like the big tight end, Tyler Lamb, the 6'4" target, tried to bring that one in, and almost had an opportunity to catch it off the deflection on a dive there. Athletic play, but it fell just to the turf out of his reach.
Once they got the fullback lined up, they run a bootleg play, and they try to have a crossing tight end The bootleg was with a fake to the right, coming back to the left, the tight end crossing from right to left. The wide receiver to that side, though, didn't quite get enough separation. He got congested in the end zone.
3 wide receivers up top, 1 to the left side of Fields, who drops to throw again, has Turner wide open in the flat, only gets it to him to the 10, the 5, and he will score untouched inside a pylon. He was open the whole time. Somebody for Shaw forgot about the most important man to defend on the field, and Turner has his second touchdown of the opening quarter.
They lost the integrity of their pass coverage. They got run off by the 3 wide receivers to the right-hand side. Turner wound up being the 4th receiver, just flaring out to that side. When Fields saw he couldn't get the ball down the field, you had a great outlet there to Trey Turner, who just waltzed in the end zone.
And it'll be start to try to tack on the extra point, and he does just that. So with 2:31 to go in the opening quarter, Holy Cross has had the ball twice, and they scored touchdowns twice, courtesy of Trey Turner, once on the ground and a moment ago through the air from the freshman quarterback Chan Fields. We'll try to take the time out here once more. I don't know what's going on in the studio, but 2:31 opening quarter, Holy Cross 14, Shaw nothing. This is Archbishop Shaw football on WGSO and at sportsnola.com. Return to action. Another pooch kick, and it could be another Holy Cross recovery. Ball's loose. There's a collision at the 37-yard line, a big pileup, and it could be a matter of who's strongest at the bottom of that pile. We'll see again. Holy Cross going with the pooch, and Shaw letting it hit the turf, and this time Archbishop Shaw able to pull it out of the pile, and now a late flag, and Scott Bainsfather, I believe, was just flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct. He's awfully upset out onto the field about 5 yards from the sideline against Coach Bainsfather. Not sure, Coach, what he's upset about. Maybe his own team for not handling these pooch kicks. No problem for the Eagles.
And let's hope for this is just going to be a sideline warning and not unsportsmanlike. A lot of times officials will take care of that. The first time we're just calling that a sideline warning. But there's something procedurally that Coach Bainsfather is upset about, because the head official came over and talked to him, and now he's communicating with the rest of the officials. So there was something in the procedure of that play that Coach Bainsfather was not happy with. No, they're calling unsportsmanlike.
Inside their 25-yard line as the cover was made around the 38-yard line, and then we'll spot it at the 23 as the Eagles desperately now need a response.
Shaw's got to keep their defense off the field, get something started offensively.
And here is a handoff to Regas. No surprise they'll stick with him, and he has a good gain out past the 30.
Regas on the gallery, he's across the 30, from off the 31-yard line.
He's absolutely right.
8 on the play, we're second and 2 for the Eagles.
That first down run is the type of play that consistent with. They've got to be able to keep their defense off the field for several minutes here, getting points ultimately, but keeping their defense on the sideline right now. We don't get the Eagles do not have enough to Holy Cross.
Second and 2 for Archbishop Shaw at their 31. 4 in front from Holy Cross. Shotgunning again. It looks like it'll be a handoff, and it is for Regas outside the out of room. Ball down almost from behind there. That could have been a dangerous tackle around the helmet area before he's pushed back. But he gets to the 40. Another big gain on the Archbishop Shaw first down.
That's the power read out of the
Kyle Myers, number 1,
Vegas has the Chiefs running the sweep pass. Whether they're pursuing with the sweep or not. If they pursue with the sweep, Keller can't.
Regis with runs of 8 and 9 yards on consecutive carries, 1st and 10 from the 40, and he will not keep it. Instead, Keller will follow him around the left side, far sideline, and a nice gainer once more on 1st down for the Eagles past the 45-yard line. That a little wrinkle off of a basic zone read look.
Yeah, no, that time there was no read to that. He was going to fake and follow, and got a very well-blocked play to the perimeter. That's the kind of play that they have to have on 1st down to keep them on schedule.
Gain of 5, just what the doctor ordered for Scott Bainsfather and the Eagles, with the 1:24 with the clock stopped here in the 1st quarter, and Holy Cross leading 14-0. And now there's more discussion going on the Shaw sideline with Scott Bainsfather, and he has been awfully upset the last couple of minutes, Coach.
Yeah, he is not happy with the game as being administered right now.
And we have an injury for Holy Cross near the sticks there, far sideline, around the 50-yard line. We'll try to get a number as he's quickly helped to his feet. That's good to see. And it is number 28, their leading tackler, Jacques Boudreau. You spoke to him on PRI on Wednesday, an outstanding young man, a really talented player who is headed to Tulane.
Yes, indeed. Was a great interview, a very perceptive young man and can communicate very well. It was very encouraging to see that he was able to get up and, in fact, started to go back in the game until he was reminded that he's got to stay out of play. So he should be okay and will be back in Jordan.
2nd and 5 facing Shaw here as they'll come back out on the field on the far hash mark. And once again, as we saw early in the ball game, it'll be a 2-back look with Keller as they'll go with Denzel McCoy, another senior running back, and it is a handoff to Regis, who has big room into Holy Cross territory, and a 1st down at the 42-yard line. The Shaw offensive line is opening up some nice holes on this possession,
especially to the left in this series of downs. The left side of the Shaw Eagle offensive line doing a great job controlling the Holy Cross front, and they've pounded the left side of the defense that time with a basic lead play with Regis following a fullback.
Gain of 13 on the carries. We reached the 1-minute mark of this opening quarter. Another 1st down and a snap under center. Keller with the zone read right, and will result in a loss as Holy Cross had great penetration on that play. Regis probably lost about a yard on the carry.
That time trying to run the wide zone, I call it, or the stretch play, where the point of attack is well outside the tight end. But to the right this time. They did pounding the left side, so they went to the wide side of the field to the right. Holy Cross responded with a lot of penetration, and that's exactly how you defend that play, is get penetration in the backfield.
And they'll run a lot of play action off that stretch when it's working instead of shotgun. Handoff to Regis once more, and a flag coming into the pile at about the 40 as Regis got no more than 3 on the carry, and they may be calling a face mask on Holy Cross. At least that seems to be the initial indication as the referees talk about it.
And it's either holding or a face mask. Let's see which way they're going with it.
Face mask?
Shaw got themselves off schedule. Yeah, they're calling personal foul, face mask.
So a big penalty against the Holy Cross Tiger defense right there, as Regis was basically stood up and had a couple of defenders stopping Regis's forward progress, and then the late flag comes in with the face mask. A little hard to see from our press box location, but a tough one to take if you're the Tigers.
And Holy Cross had gotten Shaw off schedule by throwing him for a loss on 1st down. We're talking about on schedule. We're talking about being efficient on 1st down, 4 yards or more on 1st down, getting within 2 or 3 yards for the 3rd down play. And there they had gotten behind the sticks, so to speak, but the penalty bails them out.
We reach the end of the opening quarter. Shaw trailing Holy Cross 14-0, but the Eagles on the move. I also want to remind you that the Shaw Eagle baseball team will host the 4th annual Diamond Club Golf Tournament on Sunday, October 17th at Timberland Golf Country Club beginning at 11 a.m. The deadline for entries is October 3rd. Visit shaweagles.org and go to the baseball page for an entry form or contact the school at 504-340-6727. Through one quarter of play, we've seen both running backs impress Regis with several nice runs, but this is only Shaw's second possession. It's been Holy Cross who was able to march 72 yards for one score, then take advantage of a special teams miscue on a kickoff by the Eagles and drive just 30 yards for another score, both of them by the outstanding and versatile Trey Turner.
It could not have started much worse for Coach Bain's father. Quickly out on the first series of downs, and then the long drive, and then the special teams error as you described it. So that's not what the Eagles have got to do if they're going to expect to compete. They've got to finish this drive now with a first down at the 25-yard line.
First play of the second quarter, 14-0 Holy Cross. And here again it'll be Regis having room wide side inside the 20 to the 15, bouncing to the sideline, and finally stepping out at about the 12-yard line. Gain of 13. Regis has ripped off some big runs here. Third 13-yard run of this opening half, and Shaw is in red zone for the first time tonight.
An excellent job by Trey Regis because the strong safety was unblocked. The wide receiver missed his block and faced him up one-on-one, and once again had the defensive back grasping for air. He's really got Trey Regis really has some quick feet. Very seldom takes a direct hit.
Kind of response drive that Shaw needed, and they want to punch it in here. First down and 10, and now Keller will just keep it in the snap and follow Regis, and have plenty of room, and he will score. 12-yard touchdown run to the wide side, following Regis. Both were essentially untouched, and Shaw is on the board.
An excellent job there by the quarterback Keller, and that's a terrific 1-2 punch. That Regis really deserves a lot of attention, but he shows what a team player he is too, because he doesn't mind leading Keller around the corner too. That was two examples on that drive of Regis leading Keller around the corner, and when you give Matt Keller an opportunity, he can really explode as he did wide to the left side there. An excellent use of both talents, Trey Regis and Matt Keller.
2-4 will try to tack on the extra point and draw the Eagles within 7. Good snap, good kick. It is up, and it is good. So with 11:48 to go in this first half, Shaw on the board. Holy Cross still with a 14-7 lead as we check down on the sidelines with Emmanuel Pepis, who's been near some of the heated activity, I think, for Scott Bainsfather and the Shaw coaching staff. Emmanuel, what do you got?
Guys, first of all, you guys mentioned about how he's been fired up at the officials, but maybe some of that frustrations boiling over with the special teams and how they haven't been able to handle the pooch kick. Not able to pick up the exact conversation from Baines. A huge drive for the Eagles now, just to get some momentum back on their side. As you guys, I'm sure, have seen with Turner, defensively, he's been able to be very patient. He's been able to wait for the hole, and Shaw maybe a little bit apprehensive, trying to bring him down on the line, and that's all. It's some yards after contact, something to look for. See if Shaw improves on that on this drive. Back to you.
They're definitely going to have to shut down Turner if they're going to continue making a push back from the early 14-0 deficit. Now a 14-7 lead, and this time we'll see how Holy Cross can handle a kickoff as Dufour tees it up and is about to boot it away. Rodrigue, one of the players back there along with Leighton Johnson. It looks like it will push Rodrigue back to about his own 2-yard line. He'll take it straight head far hash mark. Have plenty of room to the 30. Finally brought down past the 35-yard line. Well blocked by Holy Cross to start out again with nice field position.
Very, very well executed. Good deep kick directly down the hash mark. You tee it up on the right hash mark to try to keep the ball in that third of the field, so you only have to defend 2/3 of the field, but that means you got to squeeze your coverage team into that area, and they actually widened out. The Eagles coverage people actually widened out, and he hit it running an excellent return.
And now Holy Cross will again line up with a shotgun look, and they've run a lot of 3 wides, and they will do so here to the wide side of the field near sideline, and it'll be a snap to Fields, who finds Rodrigue in space, but 3 Eagles waiting for him. Good open field tackle, maybe gain of 2 on the play, and leading the charge is senior cornerback Bradley Davis, making a good play in space against the explosive Rodriguez.
A good reaction to the wide pop screen, I call it, to the receiver who pops up and then pops back, catches the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Bradley Davis did not only an excellent job of not allowing him to the boundary and get outside the defensive pursuit, but could finish the tackle as well. An excellent job by Bradley Davis, the senior DB.
2nd and 9 from the 38 for Holy Cross. Under center now, Fields, and we think we're going to see a handoff, and the Turner is brought down immediately. And talk about penetration on the play. Actually, the carry that time by Ashton Smith, who carried the load early in the season. Wouldn't have mattered who the running back was there, because big number 94 Tyrone Miles, a 250-pound junior, he was blocked off the snap and was in the backfield in a hurry.
Excellent job of penetration against the off-tackle scheme to the left. Penetration kills the running game, and there was no place for him to go. An excellent job by Tyrone Miles.
And Shaw would desperately love to cause a 3-and-out right here. 3rd and 10 for Holy Cross at their 38. And Holy Cross struggling to get to the line, and they may have, if they didn't get the timeout called, a delay of game. I think they're going to give the Tigers sideline the timeout call, and it is their first here of the opening half. Clock's still running, though. They need to stop the clock here as it goes inside 10 minutes. We're waiting for the clock here to finally stop. They probably ran off about 5 or 6 seconds there easy before the timeout, so they might want to reset. And again, that time the freshman quarterback maybe not getting the call in time on 3rd and 10. You want to be careful with him, and that led to the timeout being called to save 5 yards.
Yeah, they were running up to the line of scrimmage to try to get the play off in time, and they actually were not lined up correctly. They didn't have enough people on the line of scrimmage, and so it was good that the timeout got called before the offensive line moved.
For all the official information on every Shaw sport, visit shaweagles.org. Each sport has its own page for the schedules, rosters, statistics, and action photos. shaweagles.org, your official source for Archbishop Shaw sports. So the clock reset to 1:01 remaining in this first half. 3rd and 10 for Holy Cross. They'll show the pistol. 3 wides up top, and now Fields will look for a bubble screen and a well-figured pass that breaks free Rodriguez. And I don't think anybody's going to catch him. He accelerates away from the defense, drags it back, and finally gets to him. It might have been King who saved the touchdown, but not before Rodriguez gets to the 4-yard line. 1st and goal Tigers, and Rodriguez that time had room to move and accelerated for nearly a score.
Very well executed. They blocked it as a tunnel screen where the outside receiver comes back to the inside, and they try to develop a tunnel between the wide defenders and the inside pursuit. And that's exactly what happened. He hit it at the perfect angle coming from the left side back to the inside. Beautiful job by the offensive line getting down the field to fill the tunnel, and now it is inside the 5.
58 yards, biggest play from scrimmage for either team tonight. 1st and goal on the 4, and here's the big man Smith, who's a bit of a pounder, driven back after a gain of about 1 that time. Trenton King, along with Jaron Gray, to make the tackle.
Great job by Trent King, because it looked like that ball was going to pound right into the end zone. But King stepped up, not only stopped the ball carry, it turned his shoulders around and had his momentum going backwards. Excellent job of goal line defense by the Eagles.
And we mentioned Ashton Smith, a junior, 5'9". Looks good at 164, but he looks like a thicker back than that, built low to the ground, coming in with nearly 300 yards rushing and a touchdown on the season, and I think he's getting this series the 3rd of the opening half, and he'll try perhaps to punch it in. He's got actually a handoff to the fullback, the up back, who goes nowhere. Shaw all over that one, and Jaquan Charles from his nickelback spot makes first contact, and he had help.
Tried to slip the fullback in there, McCrane, who was offset to the right of the quarterback, and then tried to dive right over the center area. Great penetration by the Eagles as they tried to sneak the fullback in there.
Hunter McCrane, the 5'9 junior, with no gain on the carry. So nearing the 8-minute mark, it's 3rd and goal for Holy Cross at the Shaw 3-yard line. And Fields will fake the handoff to Smith. Has time to throw, goes to the back of the end zone, but nobody there. Lobbed it over one Shaw defender. And they put the ball loose where only potentially a Tiger could catch it. Smart throw by Fields, well defended by the Eagles.
Play action pass to the left. I was surprised in that series they didn't go to the power I and run the toss sweep as they did in the first series. That was their most effective play in their first journey inside the 10-yard line. Getting ready to try a field goal here, but a play action pass. Tried to get one receiver running to the flag, another on a crossing pattern. Nothing was really there, so the throw was appropriate.
Gavin Broussard, the ball be spotted down at the Shaw 9 for a 19-yard field goal from the right hash, and he kicks it up and knocks it through. Third field goal of the year and 4 tries for Broussard. Has been a weapon on kickoffs as well. And Holy Cross responds to retake a 2-score lead at 17-7. But if you're the Shaw defense, you have to feel really good about the stop inside the 5.
You can't feel bad about that. Exactly right. Even though they got him behind the sticks, allowed him out with the long pass play on the screen. But you got to feel good about how they played well on the goal line. It was very interesting in this field goal attempt that with the ball on the hash mark inside the 5, the Tigers did something very wise. They go to an unbalanced line because that's where the block point, it moves more to the left there. So very wise course of action by the field goal team, and he knocked it right through. Very solid operation by the Tigers.
Holy Cross efficient on offense so far, and they've really relied on the freshman Fields, but to throw the football quite a bit. So far in this one, already 6 of 8 with a touchdown and over 100 yards passing.
Giving him a lot of plays that he can manage. He knows where he's going with the ball right off the bat, so there's not a whole lot of processing that he's had to do. But when he's been asked to, as we saw in the scramble in the first drive, was able to get the ball down the field to an open receiver.
Well, we'll see what happens here. Another kickoff for Shaw to deal with, and this one is squib on the ground, and it's bobbled and loose. And a Shaw Eagle let it bounce off his chest, has to dive on it before a Holy Cross gunner tried to get in. Look, Leighton Johnson took a late dive, but Shaw able to recover the football, and it might have been Trenton King who bobbled it at first and was able to fall on it. Boy, these kickoff return situations have been an adventure for Shaw. They'll take over possession here at their own 37.
Very creative with the different types of kickoffs with the Holy Cross Tigers. This was a squib type of kick that was bouncing erratically. As a kickoff return team, you want to be able to grab them as quickly as possible because they're giving you field position. If you just handle the football, I know coaching in AA and AAA, you get a lot of kicks that are unpredictable, so we had a lot of practice with that.
First play on this possession, it's a big hole for Regis, accelerates through, and he's inside the 30, 25, and brought down a shoulder jersey tackle to save a touchdown. Massive hole, and Regis shows that explosive burst. Shaw inside the red zone on 1 carry. The O-line opened up a monster hole there.
What a great job of hitting it directly up the middle, and Regis realized it right off the bat. No hesitation whatsoever, and hit it running. The free safety, staring him right in the face, really had very little chance of being able to tackle Trey Regis on that one.
45 yards on the run, and Shaw quickly on the move. 1st and 10 from the Holy Cross 17-yard line, and Regis doesn't get a rest. Instead, he takes a fake handoff, and Keller again showing his ability to scoot with the football. Went right up the gut after the fake handoff out of the shotgun, and a nice gain inside the 10, nearly another Shaw first down.
Getting a little bit of misdirection as they're finding some softness in the inside of the Holy Cross defense, faking it to the left to Regis, and then Keller hitting it right up the middle. The first run by Regis was a trap, and this time the backside guard was pulling around as well, so they're trying to utilize some angle blocks against the Holy Cross defense.
Keller now with 23 yards rushing on 5 carries. Actually make it 24, 2nd and 1 from the 8, and this time we have a whistle that'll stop the play, and a legal procedure going against the Shaw Eagles.
Yeah, right guard flinched a little bit. And all it doesn't take much of movement in the offensive line once the ball is marked ready for play and the center has his hand on the ball. So a little flinch by the right guard. Now moves him back to 2nd down and 6.
That's the kind of penalty that'll drive a coaching staff crazy. You have 2nd and 1 there inside the 10 now. 2nd and 6, though. Still a good situation for Shaw with the clock running inside 7 minutes to go first half. Holy Cross with a 17-7 lead. Keller in the gun with Regis to his right, and it'll be Regis who takes the hand up, and again, great blocking left side, and it's a dive into the end zone inside the pylon. The Holy Cross defense was blown away there by Archbishop Shaw on the left side, and Regis takes it in from 15 yards out.
Once again attacking the right side of the Holy Cross defense. Good job of sorting out the blocking in the zone blocking scheme to the left. Regis was able to take the ball outside, and then from around the 4-yard line, launched himself to get it in the end zone when he was bottled up. That was a great drive by Trey Regis, with great leadership on Matt Keller.
58 yards on 2 carries on the possession, including a 13-yard score, extra point up, and it is good. And after trailing 14-0 early, Archbishop Shaw has had 2 impressive drives to draw within 3 here at 17-14. And we figure both of these teams would get the ball to their playmakers and have some success, but it has been in favor of the offense on both sides in this opening half.
And that's what we thought could happen. What defense was going to be able to step up and be able to make the big stop. We may be able to look back at that goal line stand forcing the field goal, Jude, in that last drive. That's kind of a turning point in the game, because that's if you have to kick a field goal in this game, it looks like you are falling behind schedule.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments are made right now. It's just the big uglies winning up front for both teams, especially Shaw the last 2 times they've touched the football. We'd like to say good luck to Coach Micah Simino and the Shaw Eagle cross country team as they compete in the West Bank Championships at Abear Park in Belle Chase on Wednesday, late in September at 4 o'clock, and then they travel to Baton Rouge to compete in the St. Joseph's Invitational on Saturday, October 3rd at 9 a.m. This one kicked away by Dufoy. It'll go to the 5-yard line, and it should be Rodriguez again, who has some room to the 20. 25-30 after stepping over one arm tackle, getting it up to about the 30-yard line. Rodriguez has been awfully impressive with the ball in his hands as a receiver and returner in this first half.
Very well organized kickoff return once again, trying to corner the returner in between the hash mark and the boundary, and that's exactly where it was kicked this time. But Holy Cross is doing a very good job of getting the blockers in front of the ball carrier and getting it out to the 30-yard line. Very well organized kickoff return by Holy Cross.
Trey Regis so far, 10 carries, 118 yards, and a score. Doing his usual, carrying the Shaw offense. His field will go for Holy Cross's big playmaker. At least 1 or 2 on a handoff, but a whistle at the snap, and looks like it'll be a 5-yard penalty marched off against Holy Cross for a false start here.
And we're waiting for the indication. Doesn't seem to take that much.
Oh, a participation penalty against Holy Cross. So 12 men on the field, apparently. You hate to see that if you're an offense.
Well, the wide receiver coming off the sideline didn't come inside the numbers, because that's a particular rule that you can't come off the sideline and stand between the numbers and the sideline. The top of the numbers is 9 yards from the boundary. It's about halfway between where the hash mark is and the boundary, and so you've got to come all the way past the top of the numbers and then move back outside.
Ball now at the 24-yard line, 1st and 15 for Holy Cross. As Fields will fake the handoff and roll to his right and has time. Throws over the middle, and a vicious Trenton King, as that ball was intended for the big tight end Tyler Lamb, and his ribs were exposed, and King got body involved and knocked it away. Good defensive play by the free safety, who, as we expected, making plays all over the field.
Very good job there by King to break it up without launching himself. Made contact with his shoulder, not his head. Called the strike zone. That's just like in baseball. From the shoulders to the knees is where you want to make contact. But he kept his head out of contact, which is important, and he did not target the head of the receiver as well. That was a beautiful play by Trent King.
And we've seen the adjustments slowly but surely being made at all levels of football in that regard you spoke of. And the draw play opens well for Turner, but a trip and a good job of it in space to prevent a bigger game on a play that was set up very well. Holy Cross gave from the strong safety spot, able to handle Turner one-on-one, and that's a hard task indeed.
Absolutely, because there were some possibilities there. If Davis doesn't make that play, that's that's going to pop for a big gain. So now the Holy Cross offense has a 3rd and long. Let's see if Shaw can get off the field. But Brock Davis, he came off of the block first to be able to fall in and trip up the ball carrier. That could have been a big play.
Hydration break with 6:03 to go in this first half. Holy Cross 17, Shaw 14. We'll take the break on WGSO and at sportsnola.com. As we come back on 3rd down and a strike for a first down. Fields finding a man in space, sitting down in the zone as we came back to play a little quicker than we expected. We're on live with Sports NOLA. Brett Carter, the 6-foot senior wide out with the catch, and Fields again showing the maturity of a much more experienced quarterback. I trust him, Coach.
Wow, that was an excellent throw there. The ball was on the left hash, and he was throwing an outside route all the way to the opposite hash mark, past the first down marker. A little bit bobbled on the catch, but a great delivery by Fields.
Gain of 13 to the 43 for our radio listeners joining us as we came back a little quicker than expected. A handoff to Turner, who's formed in the backfield, spins out of it, but more Eagles waiting. Good job by Turner just to get back to the line of scrimmage. The Shaw starting to win the battle up front between the tackles.
Starting to get some penetration internally because they were trying to run a power-type play inside with the backside guard, pulling through the hole, but the penetration stopped first in the backfield, and it wasn't but for the great talent of Trey Turner that it became a positive play.
And Turner has had rough sledding for the most part running the football, and that time it was Malcolm Rollins who was able to wrap him up, the big 240-pound junior. Gain of 2 officially on the play. 2nd and long for Holy Cross in the gun. Fields throws over the middle, and it's knocked away at the last second on the slant, intended for Carter again, and it looked like it was deflected by Bradley Davis, the cornerback, who had good coverage.
Very good play by Davis because the ball was delivered on time on the slant and was accurate. Pretty good velocity on it, but Davis made a great break on the ball to knock it away without interfering with the receiver. Excellent defense.
3 straight incompletions here has a good job, or 3 out of the last 4, I should say, for Fields, except for, of course, the great 13-yard pass to keep the drive going. He faces another 3rd long, and they will roll him wide side left, but he has plenty of time to throw. Still looking, and now under some pressure, he'll roll to the right. Still looking down the field, and he can run a little bit, showing speed. He has a first down and more, and steps out of bounds near the sideline. We can understand where they're going with the freshman. What a great play they're showing his wheels, but we have a late flat on the play, and I think this is coming back against Holy Cross. We'll see. He stepped out of bounds at about the 43-yard line of the Eagles, though, Coach.
What a spectacular scramble. First going to his left side, trying to find something down the field, and then reversing his field. The coaches were claiming that, the Shaw coach were claiming that was a block in the back that freed him up. But later on, scrambling for the first down, even though there is a flag downfield as the officials are trying to reset the sticks before they move and administer the penalty, because the chain crew had already moved on the other side of the field. Now they have to reestablish their position.
It was a gain of 14 on the run before the penalty was marked off from the Shaw 47-yard line, it looks like. They're still trying to figure out where they're going to spot the ball. They will mark it off now and put it back in Holy Cross territory at the 46. So that'll set up 3rd and shorter than Holy Cross had a moment ago. But it does give Shaw a do-over here. After Fields had all day to throw, he must have ran 50 yards to gain 14.
Showed a lot of athleticism there in reversing his field and running for the first down. The officials have a little clip that they keep on the chain that they put on the yard line closest to the furthest end of the chain, so that even if the chains get moved, they know where to put the clip back, and they can reestablish accurately where the chains go.
Third down, and now call it 7 from their own 46 in the pistol. Holy Cross will just swing it out to Turner in space, and it's well blocked, and Turner's going to have a first down and accelerate down the sidelines. He stepped out of bounds. If he could have stayed in, he would have scored, but a big play in response to the penalty just inside the 40, and when in doubt, get the ball to your best player.
Exactly, especially on a flare like that, where he starts in the backfield and then swings or flares to the left-hand side. Now you're getting the ball to your best player in space, and he's moving forward after he catches it, and the offensive lineman was slipping out in front of him, so a little flare screen action. Well done by the Tigers.
15 yards on the play on first down. Turner will get the ball again, and well tackled once again in space as a late flag comes in. Open field work done once more by Sean Michael Dumas, and the Shaw team does tackle very well one-on-one. We'll see what the flag is after a stop for a short game.
The Shaw defense is doing an excellent job of clogging up the seams internally and making the ball carriers go at an angle, and then do a great job of tackling after it. So the Shaw defense
on the play. So is that one of those situations, pulling a player out of the way to help a team? I don't see it called very often.
Or a pulling lineman is trying to get in front of the ball carrier, and you go and tackle him in the backfield. Or an offensive lineman is trying to come off of a defensive lineman and work up to the second level, and the defensive lineman pulls him from getting to the linebacker.
It looks like they marked it off from the end of the run, Coach, right. So it's spotted at the 27-yard line, and another Holy Cross first down.
If they eventually move the chains, which they're doing in the final. Come on, guys, catch up with the program.
We had a clean first quarter except for the special teams issues, and now it's getting a little shaky. A lot more yellow on the field with all this navy blue, green, and white. And it is a first down for Holy Cross. Hopefully both teams can clean it up a little bit. And Shaw really needs to stop here. Nearing the 4-minute mark, Fields will stop, drop, throw, complete, far sideline, out of bounds, spun at the 21-yard line. Fields showing his ability to do a nice 3-step drop under center and throw a strike.
Taking advantage of soft coverage on the corner, even though that was into the boundary to the short side of the field. Nice 3-step drop and hitting the hitch to wide receiver to the left-hand side.
And that was Carter with the second catch of the half. Gain of 6 on the play. So second and comfortable, if you will, at 4 for Holy Cross. And the one back, as you'd expect, is Turner. And Turner will take the handoff, delayed for a moment to let one Shaw defender go by him inside the 20 and stack up at the 19-yard line for a gain of 2.
Running inside zone to the right side with the tight end that's in a wing-type position, coming back and blocking for the cutback. Turner decided to try to take the cutback, but once again, Shaw does a good job on the line of scrimmage.
Turner really has had to earn it on those last few carries, although he's only had 4 toe to the rock since his 5-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. We should see him have the ball here on 3rd and 1 from the 19. He is the only back, and he does have room left side for the first down and more. Breaks the tackle inside the 10 and goes down at about the 8-yard line. First and goal, Holy Cross. The left side doing a fine job of setting up with room to move that time.
For the first time in this drive, the offensive line of the Tigers gets off with a great takeoff and gets into the Shaw Eagles defensive lineman and dominates the right side of the Eagles defensive line.
Clock at 2:30 and counting. Shaw does have all 3 of their timeouts left, so they might want to weigh having some time to do something with the ball late in this half. Holy Cross would receive the second half's kickoff, so a 2-score lead on the ball could be huge for them as they try to punch it in. And here is Turner running left side, stutter step, trying to push his way to the goal line. He's awfully close, but it looks like he's just short inside the 2, maybe at the 1, with 2:04 and counting here. Holy Cross being 17-14.
And the Holy Cross offense wisely took their time, let the clock run down, trying to get as close to the end of the half as possible before they score. So excellent communication to the players to slow it down and use some clock.
Play clock finally starts with 1:47 to go in the half. 25-second clock, and we'll watch that in one of them malfunction momentarily in the end zone. Direction Holy Cross is going, but now 10 seconds on the clock. Holy Cross still in the huddle. They have 2 timeouts at their disposal. Now they'll hurry at the line with 5 on the play clock. Fields will try to sneak it in, and he'll have some push behind him, and he will force his way into the end zone for the 1-yard touchdown on the quarterback sneak with 1:20 to go in the half as Holy Cross reestablishes a 2-score lead.
The Tigers had utilized that particular scheme earlier in the game where they sprint up to the line of scrimmage, get set quickly with virtually no splits between the linemen, and then wedge it forward on the quarterback sneak. That's something that they're well schooled in, and that's the second time they did it, was able to shove it into the end zone.
So good drive to respond by Holy Cross. The extra point attempt is up, and it is once again right down the middle. So 1:20 to go, and Holy Cross with a 10-point lead once more at 24 to 14. And this has been tit for tat, really, Coach. You see 2 teams really believing in their ability to move the football. Shaw has pretty much kept it on the ground, but it's been the freshman Chandler Fields opening things up when Trey Turner's had some rough sledding, although he found some holes late in that drive.
Third down, the 13-yard completion to gain the first down. One of the key plays in that drive, and the big scramble, even though it was called back with a penalty. That's the kind of thing that gets the defense running around and wears them down, and Holy Cross was able to drive the ball into the end zone. The difference in the game right now are 2 kickoffs. Well, when you compare the kickoff returns of Holy Cross with the kickoff returns of Shaw, so that's 4 different kicks, that you're seeing a significant advantage going to the Holy Cross Tigers, because you got a turnover one time that Holy Cross recovered to eventually score, get a 14-point lead, and then 2 other times virtually got really close to recovering it, and then 2 long kickoff returns getting good field position. So the kickoff return game is a big difference.
Extra possessions and field position have helped the Tigers immensely. Now Shaw really wants to try to get on the board down 10 with 1:20 to go. We see a squib kickoff again to King, who was ready for it this time. The tackle after about 5 yards, fielding it from his 35, and he's brought down at the 40. But Shaw with good field position, just 5 seconds off the clock, and the Eagles have all 3 of their timeouts with 1:15 left.
Holy Cross is utilizing every kind of different kickoff they can. Obviously, they ain't capable of kicking it deep, so you try to put the burden on the return team to be able to handle various types. So they've had a couple of sky or pooch kicks. They've had a couple of squib kicks now, and it's incumbent on the return team once again that you want to handle it as quickly as possible, because you automatically have good field position, and they do now at the 40 with 1:15.
Shaw hasn't thrown the ball but one time. It was incomplete. Now Keller rolling to his left, trying to buy time, throws it away. Had nobody open. A pair of receivers blanketed by 3 Holy Cross defenders at around midfield.
An excellent job of defense against a sprint out. The ball was on the right hash mark, so it was a sprint out pass to the left side, and a good job of containing it. A little bit of pressure on the quarterback. Good block by Regas to give Keller an opportunity to throw it, but the secondary really rotated very, very well to blanket the receivers in the direction of the sprint out pass.
And Patrick Allen really the only deep threat for Shaw at receiver, and he's been blanketed this entire first half by the Florida State commitment Myers, who has him up top. The Keller drops the throw. He had tons of time. Now it's breaking down for him. He scrambles to his right, still looking downfield, and fires it up, grabs, and it's almost intercepted. Is it? Did he catch it? I believe it's Myers, and they're going to say he was out of bounds on the play. Hard to see on the far sideline at around the 35-yard line, but that one is not the guy you want to challenge one-on-one with a jump ball, and Keller lucky that it wasn't picked off.
Exactly, not 35 yards down the field, and Keller showed his escapability and his ability to really throw the ball on the line, but a great break on the ball by the defensive back, and he may in fact have come down out of bounds because he rolled off the receiver, and he may not have actually touched down until he was on the white.
58 seconds to go, 3rd and 10. Keller, he'll set up the screen to Regas, who tries to elude 3 different defenders and gets what he can to about 45 for a gain of 5. But now the clock running inside 50 seconds, and Holy Cross will burn their second timeout. And the clock will stop at 45 seconds. It's 4th down for the Eagles, so Holy Cross with a chance, and they've won the special teams battle in this first half, perhaps to do something here to add to their lead.
Exactly. There's no reason not to use a timeout there. I thought that was a very good use of it. It came to mind immediately, because on 4th down, you want to force them to execute. Even if you choose not to return it, let's say you don't want to risk catching a punt and giving Shaw an advantage in a turnover there. You got to make sure that they snap it, that the punter catches it, that the punter can kick it. Because remember, the first time that they punted, the only time I believe they punted tonight, they tried that rugby type of punt off to the right, and he kicked it very short. So there's going to be some pressure here. Whether they choose to return it or not is going to be interesting. But make your opponent execute at the 4th down play.
Archbishop Shaw High School will host its annual open house for all prospective students on Monday, November 2nd from 6 to 8 p.m. Come tour the campus and meet the outstanding staff at Archbishop Shaw. See what Shaw has to offer. You can find out more by visiting archbishopshaw.org. So Dufour will be back to punt this one away, we do believe, and the dangerous Kyle Myers waiting at around his 25.
You have Justin Adams as the long snapper and Dufour as the punter.
Will they set up the return? Come with pressure. They will set up the return rugby-style kick to the right, and a line drive that Myers takes on a hop in space and now has big room to the 40. Up the middle of the field and inside Shaw territory to the 48-yard line. That did not work out in Shaw's advantage because Myers, with great hands, able to field it on a hop with momentum, and Shaw wasn't in their lanes, and Myers able to take advantage. And now it's Holy Cross with 31 seconds left, a timeout in Eagles territory.
The Eagles did everything right, but their coverage teams really don't cover as much ground down the field in either the punt or the kickoff return, because that was a tricky one there for Myers to be able to handle. It was anytime the ball is bouncing, that can be tricky, but he handled it very well and attacked.
25 yards unofficially on the return. 1st and 10 from the Shaw 48. Here's Fields in the gun. Has room trying to set up the screen and has to just throw it away. Another mature decision by the freshman, and a flag will come down late on the play. They were trying to get the ball to Turner, but Shaw sniffed it out right away.
And there's illegal receivers downfield because he threw the ball down the field. If the ball crosses the line of scrimmage, the linemen have got to be on or behind the line of scrimmage. They were trying to set a screen to the left. Great job by the Shaw rush to be able to stand right in front of Trey Turner. There was no chance of getting the ball to him. But when the quarterback threw it away, he threw it past the line of scrimmage. So therefore, the linemen who were blocking for the screen were illegally downfield.
So a lesson learned there for the freshman. You just throw it at the feet of the intended receiver quicker there, so you avoid that penalty. But we have it declined, and now another penalty will go against.
They called intentional grounding.
They will call intentional grounding. That's interesting because he wasn't outside the pocket. He threw it past the line of scrimmage, but Vegas was more inside the hash mark, and the ball went out of bounds. So, again, double whammy.
The pocket rule is not that's not in high school, the throwaway rule. That's a college and the pros, and so even though it went over Vegas in the backfield, it was obvious that there was no other receiver down there. So the referee called intentional grounding, which is a major penalty because it's a 10-yard penalty, and lost it down from the spot of the throw.
So 15 yards total on the mark-off. 2nd and 25 now from their own 38, and a draw play will go to Turner here. Holy Cross trying to keep it safe, and Shaw will swarm him down at about the 42-yard line. Gain of 4, and it looks like Holy Cross is intent to take this 10-point lead into the locker room, and they will do just that. In the final 10 seconds and counting, we've reached the half at Hoss Memphis, and Holy Cross with a 24-14 lead over Archbishop Shaw as both teams wait until the scoreboard horns. The clock hits 0, and we have been entertained in this first 24 minutes, to say the very least. Shaw trailing by 10, but they've been throwing counter punches here since falling down 14-0, and it should be an exciting second half. Holy Cross will get the ball first, Coach, and that's going to be huge for Shaw to make a stop in that situation and not fall down 3 scores.
That's right. That's why Holy Cross could play it safe after the penalty. That was a critical penalty right there, because because they're in scoring territory. They've got a timeout left. They've got momentum on their side. But the penalty for intentional grounding really put them in a position to go ahead and play it safe because, as you mentioned, they're getting the ball to start the second half. For Shaw to have a chance in this game, because most of the game is just back and forth, as you mentioned, tit for tat, back and forth, and you can't let the opposition get too far out in front because it's going to be hard for your tat to outmove the other person's tit in this thing if you lose contact with the opposition.
And Shaw really is not comfortable playing from behind when they have to throw the football like we saw in the 2-minute drill a moment ago. So even though they've been battling back, they've had plenty of time to do it, and they've kept the football on the ground with Matt Keller at quarterback, and of course what Trey Regis has done, over 100 yards in the opening half. But it's been Chandler Fields, the freshman quarterback for Holy Cross, who's been awfully impressive. Imagine they're going to have him for 3 more years. He looks like a mature veteran already.
He is really doing a great job of executing the offense, not risking the ball in any circumstance. He's throwing the ball on time when it's supposed to be thrown on time, and a couple of times that he's had to scramble, got a good run out of one, found receivers twice, and they found another good remedy in the flare pass to Trey Turner, because when he's in the open field, he's extraordinarily dangerous.
Trying to find Emmanuel Peppis on the sidelines to see if he'll be able to get with the coach in the opening half. I'm not sure, as we try to look for him here. And we'll take the timeout perhaps in a moment as we look to see if he's able to get Coach Bainsfather. We might try to get with him to start the second half here instead. We'll see. I don't see Emmanuel down there. So we will look to do, I believe. Do I see Emmanuel now? I do believe. Is that him over there? I'm not sure. Not sure, so we'll just take the break. Archbishop Shaw trailing Holy Cross 24-14 here at halftime. This is Archbishop Shaw football on WGSO and at sportsnola.com. Try to see what's going on here, why we can't hear.
504-340-6727. Good luck to Coach Micah Cimino and the Shaw Eagle cross-country team as they travel to Baton Rouge to compete in the St. Joseph's Invitational on Saturday.
Yeah, I finally found it.
Friday Night Football at Daniels and JC Dennis at 11 as well. That's the original Friday Night 6 to midnight on WGSO 990 AM, coming to GSO.com, sportsnola.com, and the original network.
Heavy water for Archbishop Shaw, but on the flip side, Chandler Fields over out balance in the passing game. And Shaw really won a lot of the battle up front and bottled up Trey Turner, at least running the football awfully well.
Turner has lived up to his expectations, as has Regis. Keller, as a runner, has lived up to expectations. Has not had very good success throwing the ball down the field, but and that's one of the differences in the game. But Chandler Fields has a couple of shots down the field and has been effective doing that phase of the game. So that has been a difference in the game as well. Shaw's going to have to do not get behind schedule, stay within the offense, and finish drives off. But it's going to be absolutely critical that their defense come on the field right at the start of the third quarter and reestablish some of their line of scrimmage dominance that we saw at the end of the second quarter.
And Turner has a couple of nice runs there, particularly late in the half, but 13 carries for 57 yards. He's had to fight on many of those plays, and he's been set up more often by Fields and his ability to throw the ball to kind of back off the Shaw defense. Fields has been asked to chuck it a lot. He's got a touchdown through the air and on the ground as well. And for Shaw, when you think about matching up in the second half, how do you handle what Holy Cross's offense has done? They've really presented balance, and that's a lot to take care of if you're Shaw, particularly in a situation where Holy Cross has the lead. They'll have the ball to start the second half, and you know they want to give Turner more opportunities to exert his will.
And so that's key for the Shaw defense starting the third quarter, that they've got to continue handling the line of scrimmage. That even though Fields has had some success throwing the football, you want to make him make plays to beat you in the second half. So, because if you cannot stop Trey Turner, then it never gets down to Fields, and you're not going to be able to stop them at all. So the dominance of the Shaw defensive line in the second quarter is what they have to continue to do, and they have to do their best to force Chandler Field to be the difference maker in the second half.
On just 10 carries, Trey Regas with 118 yards on the ground. He's got a catch for 5 yards as well. And what's been interesting is Holy Cross struggles to really throw the football when they've tried. Keller just 1 of 4 for 5 yards. He's been a threat as a runner with nearly 40 yards there. But if you're Shaw, at what point, like we saw in the 2-minute drill late in the half, do you get out of your comfort zone and have to spread and throw the ball more? That's going to be key to them. They can't be behind too much further than they are right now once we reach the final quarter.
And that's been a difficulty so far, that the Shaw wide receivers and tight ends, for that matter, have not been able to gain much separation. That goes all the way back to when we saw them play in the Jamboree this year, that it's purely been Matt Keller and Trey Regas. If they can't get wide receivers making plays and a chance to get the ball down the field, it's going to be difficult for Shaw to come back.
We talked about Fields. How about 157 yards passing for the freshman in the opening half, including a 14-yard touchdown on a swing pass to Turner. Turner with a score on the ground and through the air. And we've seen Darius Rodriguez make plays in space as a receiver, including a 58-yard catch to set up a field goal for Holy Cross. So the weapons for Holy Cross are showing up because of their ability to both run and throw the football.
And that's allowed Fields to simply execute the offense and not have to be too creative, which is good. I mean, that shows great planning by the Holy Cross coaches, that he knows before the snap what he's going to be able to do with the football and can be highly efficient in doing that. So if they can, once again, if they could stay within the nature and the scope of what Holy Cross, if they could stay within the nature and scope of the scheme, then the Eagles are going to have to do something special to be able to stem the tide.
We'll take a timeout. When we come back, Emmanuel Peppis will join the conversation with the coach and talk about the Catholic League so far this weekend. 3, wow, talk about interesting games so far, 2.5 to this point. We figured it would be a wild district this year. We know there'll be rematches in the playoffs, so there's plenty of great football ahead, including in this one, where Holy Cross leads Shaw by a score of 24-14 at the half at Haas Memphis. This is Archbishop Shaw football on WGSO and at SportsNola.com.
Archbishop Shaw High School will host its annual open house for all prospective students on Monday, November 2nd from 6 to 8 p.m. Come tour the campus and meet the outstanding students.
here taking over for a bit with Coach Rick Yaley. And Coach, first of all, you guys talked about a little bit about the first half with the Eagles, and just kind of looking forward to the second half. You mentioned being able to get penetration. It seemed like they were a little bit tentative, a little bit apprehensive as far as tackling Turner around the line of scrimmage, but that really improved as the first half went along.
Absolutely. Early in the game, that was a struggle. Holy Cross was able to take the fight to the Eagles early in the game, but the adjustment by Shaw was to be able to control the line of scrimmage better, get more physical, and had much greater success with that, and that put the burden on Chandler Fields to be able to complete some balls, and that was something that he was able to do, especially in their second to last drive that led to their final touchdown.
And one of the more demoralizing things for the Shaw defense as they've been in the field, they haven't been able to stop Holy Cross, but it's been not just the third downs that the Holy Cross has converted, it's been 3rd and 10s, it's been 3rd and 13s, it's been a lot of those 3rd and longs where you would think the defense is in an advantage situation, but it's turned out the other way.
And that can get frustrating to a defense when they can't get off the field. I mean, you fight like crazy on 1st and 2nd down to get in a 3rd and long situation. You just have to execute for one more play, and when you can't do that, that can get frustrating to a team, to a defense especially. And so that's why I'm firmly of the belief that the first drive of the third quarter is going to absolutely tell the tale, because if Shaw can get out there and get a stop and get their offense back on the field down 10, now you have a chance to get back in the game, because in a game where it's back and forth, the two teams are awfully even. The extra possessions that Holy Cross was able to gain, especially through the kicking game, is a difference in the game so far. So the Eagle defense has got to be able to stop the Holy Cross offense in this opening drive of the second half.
And from another point, as far as that first drive of the second half, not only obviously to be able to get a stop, but we've seen Holy Cross go on time-consuming drives, 6 and 7 minutes. If they're able to go on one of those drives again and put the ball in the end zone, it kind of takes Regas a little bit more out of the equation with a passing game that's been struggling all night.
That's right, because the Shaw offense hasn't been on the field very long, because Holy Cross has been able to maintain possession of the ball, and that's what both coaches wanted to do. That's kind of the theme in the Catholic League when you get right down to it, to be able to maintain possession of the football, to keep the ball away from the opposing offense, because I think something that's different right now from 10 years ago, this is an easy frame of reference for us. I think the Catholic League is back as a whole to what they were a decade ago in the competition from top to bottom. But the offenses right now are so much better than they were a decade ago. I was talking with Jay Roth's dad, Easton Roth, a couple of weeks ago when we were broadcasting the Rummel-Covington game. And when you looked back at some of the great games that he had coached in, they were 7-6, they were 10-7, they were 14-10 and the like. And now you're looking at 40-37, you're looking at 32-20. Here we are at halftime of a Catholic League game, 24-14. I mean, Bobby Conlon and coaches from that era would be rolling around right now going crazy. Where's all the scoring come from? So the offensive capabilities now are so tremendous that whichever team can keep the football away from the other offense gains an advantage. So time of possession has always been important in the Catholic League, but I think right now it may be even more important because defenses have a tough time of stopping modern offenses.
This is closer to a total yards and total points from 10 years ago, isn't it?
That's exactly right. This would have been like the first half of the district schedule, 24-14, not the first half of a game.
Well, we are going to take a timeout. Jude Young is going to be back on the other side, bringing the second half of Archbishop Shaw football right here on WGSO 990 AM and that.com and at sportsnola.com, with the Eagles trying to come back from a 24-14 halftime deficit against Holy Cross. Back to Haas-Memphis Stadium with Jude Young and Rick Yaley in just a moment.
halftime is almost over as both teams warm up. Both bands have performed, and another Catholic League thriller in progress, but right now Holy Cross comfortable with a 10-point lead, and Emmanuel Pepis will join us here for the second half as we prepare moving forward for what is a crucial situation, I think, for both of these teams, and now the impetus is on Shaw. When you look at the Catholic League, there are three obvious teams that have outstanding talent, guys. Brother Martin with their big win over John Curtis in overtime today. We know the Patriots of J.T. Curtis are outstanding as always, and Rummel, a nationally ranked team. They're the class of the league talent-wise, but every team is well coached, and if you're Shaw and Holy Cross and you're trying to stay as high in the pecking order as you can, you think about avoiding a first-round playoff game in a 10-team bracket, staying out of that bottom four. This game becomes so important, even though we're not even halfway through the regular season.
That's right. All the games turn out to be extraordinarily important for precisely the reason you had stated there, Jude. You want to be one of the top six and not the bottom four, because now everything sets up for you beautifully in the playoffs, and that's what the pre-district is all about too, because that's all going to be PowerPoint related. So all the games are very important. You can't fall behind early in the district season, and that's why the district opener for each school is so important, because if you fall behind, especially the schools that you're talking about, Brother Martin now is in the upper echelon mix, and you're looking at Curtis and Rummel. Those three are certainly standing right there, somewhat above the rest, with capable teams on a weekly basis below them, and that's going to be a battle to see who can get out of the bottom four.
So many good running backs in this league, guys, and we've seen quite a few of them over the past couple of years. Regis and Turner tonight have been workhorses for multiple years for their teams. Bruce Jordan Swilling is outstanding, and just a junior. Devon Ben on the other side of the game. That was a thriller today on WGSO for John Curtis. So many good backs in this league. What can you say? How do you rank them? There's so many good ones. Let's just start with the two tonight, Turner and Regis, and you were able to speak to Trey Turner on PRI on Wednesday, and you can watch the replay of those interviews with Holy Cross on sportsnola.com anytime you like. Your thoughts on Turner and Regis? Turner has been more highly recruited overall on the football side. He's also has great baseball potential, but Regis seems to be a guy who's coming on late and has been underrated the past couple of seasons.
Absolutely. You're seeing two guys, even though Turner looks bigger right now. I mean, they're both listed close to the same size, but Turner, I think you were exactly right when you said it looks like maybe he put on a few pounds in coming back from injury. Regis certainly makes more people miss, and he makes people miss while going forward. He's got an exceptional ability to do that, and is a bit quicker right now than Turner. So Regis, even though he has perhaps not been recruited to this point as heavily as Trey Turner, is a better back right now.
And Arizona State will potentially have a guy who can be a star in both baseball and football if Turner goes the college route. Regis is being looked at by schools perhaps not in the Power 5 conferences, although a couple of SEC schools have come in on him late. He could be the type of player. He reminds me of how Matt Forte was under-recruited out of Slidell High. I think both of them are being underrated, perhaps criminally, and could wind up being big stars at the next level.
One of the things that we found through Prep Recruiting Insider is that there's a lot of misdiagnosis of young players in the recruiting process, because it's amazing the number of legends that we have on the show who played college ball, sometimes even professional football, and were walk-ons that weren't even recruited or woefully under-recruited. So the recruiting process is not an exact science at all. Trey Regis can help somebody keep their job at the collegiate level.
Almost near the half, Archbishop Rummel in New Jersey against Don Bosco Prep, and Don Bosco Prep has just taken a 7-3 lead over the Raiders with a minute to go, and a big nationally watched game there as we're underway in the second half. Holy Cross receiving the kickoff, and on a bounce, Rodriguez setter step comes to the near sideline and steps out at the 30-yard line. And Emmanuel, this is a crucial possession for the Shaw Eagles. They really need a stop. If they fall behind 3 scores, it might be a bridge too far.
Not to overstate the importance of this drive, but absolutely, Holy Cross not only obviously scored on every drive, except for the one at the end of the half, they also took time off the clock, 6-7 minutes. If they could grind it out, they could take Regis more out of the equation with a 17-point hole and force it into the hands of Keller, who threw only 4 passes, and the passing game just hasn't been there so far tonight.
And Coach, if you're Shaw, you'd love to put some pressure on Fields to see if you can force a freshman into some mistakes.
Exactly, so that's why they've got to continue to control the line of scrimmage and make Fields be the decision maker.
Fields with a back to his right, and will give the handoff to Leighton Johnson, who's brought down immediately, and another one-on-one tackle beating his block. Saw that a couple of times in the first half by Malcolm Rollins, the junior, and once again Shaw winning the battle up front. One-on-one blocking has been a difficult task, and you don't see this three-man front with the 3-3-5 like we talked about in the first half very often. You can prepare for it, but it's a bit unique to Shaw compared to other Catholic League teams, certainly.
Yeah, Rummel uses it some, especially against spread teams. It's a very effective team against spread. They always wind up with at least 4 rushers, but you try to confuse the offense by having a different linebacker come.
Turner with no gain on the play, 2nd and 10. Fields with the fake and throwing right and has a man open complete. That's Carter for a first down to the 40 and to the 45-yard line. And a first down for Holy Cross. Correction, it's Rodrigue with the catch, his 4th of the game. And again, good arm strength by Fields and ability to throw set up by play action fake.
Absolutely. The ball's on the left hash mark, and he's able to complete an out-breaking route all the way out by the numbers in the open field. So great decision-making, great technique. He has his feet up under him, and some good zip on the ball. Good job by Fields. 18
yards on the throw. He has 175 in the game. Handoff to Turner, and again Shaw able to make the stop at the line of scrimmage. Turner falls forward for a gain of 1. Tackle on the play by Mitch Schaefer.
Shaw once again doing a great job controlling the line of scrimmage on early downs, but they haven't been able to carry through all 3 downs to be able to get off the field, and that's got to be frustrating to them because now they've got 2nd and 9, and let's see if the Eagles can get the Tigers off the field.
Rodrigue now with 4 catches for 82 yards. We'll watch him as he's lined up by himself. Actually, he's in the slot there near side, and a handoff to Turner, who bounces outside, stutter step to make room, and he's knocked out of bounds. But not before gaining a first down to the 41-yard line. And when you run Turner wide, Emmanuel, you can see his ability to make men miss in the open field.
And that has been absolutely huge. And this is, the situation. 2nd and long and 3rd and long. And they seem to favor, especially the perimeter, get these guys out in space, whether it's been Turner or whether it's been the passing game with these receivers, and have been able to go to work.
Gain of 12 for Turner and a first down to the Shaw 41-yard line. Just over 2 minutes into the second half. Holy Cross leading the Shaw Eagles by a score of 24-14. One back set as Fields will hand it off on the counter play left, and Turner again not much room when they've run under center and between the tackles. Shaw has won the battle up front. Leading the charge was Brandon Gotro from his linebacker spot after a gain of just 1.
Yeah, between the tackles, it's very, very tough sledding on the edges and outside. The Tigers have had much more success, and so now here with 2nd and 9, once again they went with the stretch play, running a wide zone on the last series, and so let's see if the Tigers bring it outside again.
And if you're Shaw, you actually struggled a bit more than you'd like in 2nd and 3rd and long situations, not applying pressure to the quarterback Fields, who has to call timeout with 1 second on the play clock, and does call it first timeout by the Tigers here, taken early in the second half at the 9-10 mark. So Holy Cross at the Shaw 40. Coach, what do you do? Do you bring extra pressure to try to force the hand of Fields here when you know that you've got a couple of dangerous wide receivers, and Rodrigue, who has 82 yards receiving already, and Carter, who has a couple catches as well?
There's no doubt that you've got to try to get more pressure on Fields and try to accelerate his decision making, because he's been very comfortable with the pressure that they've been, and that's one of the things in this 3-3-5 look that the Eagles employ, that you're trying to confuse the blocking scheme by having the offense prepare for either one of the three linebackers to become the fourth rusher. But the rush is going to have to come from the outside because internally the Holy Cross pass protection has been very sound.
Turner behind Fields in the pistol as Holy Cross looks to work quickly here, and will pitch it outside the Turner. Cuts inside of the 40 and spins down to about the 35, and there's running wide again. That seems to be the ticket if you're Holy Cross, if you're going to establish balance here.
Yeah, there's no question about that. They are much more effective getting the Shaw defenders have to run to be able to contain the plays on the outside rather than the direct attack between the tackles, because now you've got a manageable 3rd and 4, and I would look for the ball to get on the perimeter again.
Turner with a gain of 5. 3rd and 4 for Holy Cross at the Shaw 35-yard line, again with the pistol, and this time Turner will have plenty of room up the middle. He's not before he goes inside the 30, brought down at the 26. That time Holy Cross created plenty of space on a simple handoff right up the gut.
And that was really well blocked internally after having no success whatsoever between the tackles. A direct shot right up the center proved to be very effective right there. They may be starting to wear the inside of the short defense out.
Gain of 9 and another big 3rd down conversion for the Tigers as they set up shop at the 26-yard line. The Eagles first down, and now a play action for Fields. He throws out complete, and again, what accuracy by the young man, setting up and firing after the play action fake. Another first down for Holy Cross on the throw to the big tight end Lamb, out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Great throw and catch there because Sean Michael Dumas, a strong safety with the Eagles, had that play read and was undercutting the tight end, sliding out to the flat, but the throw was out beyond his reach and right to the tight end. Beautifully executed.
4-minute drive so far for Holy Cross to start the half. First down and 10 in the red zone at the Eagles 16-yard line. Shaw desperately needs a stop here. They were able to get one of those in the first half when Holy Cross had first and goal inside the 5. We'll see what they can muster up here as Fields will hand it off to Turner, running wide again. Makes one man miss inside the 10, falling forward, and flag on the play. Holding will be the call on Holy Cross, and you can probably hear some of the coaches in the press box didn't like that call one bit on the Tiger side.
Yeah, you could say that there's a bit of disappointment at the penalty that was called behind the running back. I mean, the running back had already passed up that particular spot before the flags were thrown.
Would have been another first down for Holy Cross inside the 10. Instead, the flag's thrown at about 11, and they will actually march it off from there. So ball spotted at the 21. It'll be first and 15 for Holy Cross from that spot, and a break perhaps for Shaw. They need to take advantage. If they can even just force a field goal here, it would be a huge victory at this juncture as Holy Cross grinds the clock with this 10-point lead to start the second half.
And looking at the replay, there might have been a pretty good acting job. I think there's a thespian in the crowd.
Snap to Fields. He had to catch it with one hand. Now going deep, and it is almost caught. One-on-one down the near sideline into the end zone. And for a moment there, it looked like Jordan Alexis, the third receiver for Holy Cross, was going to haul that one in, but it was knocked away by DeJuan Gray. One-on-one coverage. Really good throw by Fields, and better defense to save the day.
Good job of both the receiver and the defensive back playing the football. That was excellent competition right there. Looked like the Holy Cross receiver had the initial advantage, but Juwan Gray stayed in great position so that as he was coming down, trying to bring the ball in, he was inside of his hands and was able to knock the ball away. Very good competition between those two young men.
Inadvertent flag signaled by the officials. Will be second down and 15 from the 21. 7:24 to go here in the third quarter for our listeners on WGSO, and we hope everybody's enjoying the webcast on sportsnola.com if they can. Again, the pistol look, 3 wides to the right side. Fields will roll out, look the throw, now under pressure off his back foot. He will throw it over the intended receiver, Rodriguez, double covered at around the 10-yard line. Good defense all the way around by Shaw. They had pressure on the rollout, and they had the top target for the Tigers double covered.
Much better job of rotating the coverage to the sprint out pass. Ball starting on the left hash, sprinting out to the field, and you saw a great rotation by the secondary, moving right along with the quarterback, because the advantage of a sprint out is that it makes the pass protection that much easier for the offense. The disadvantage is that you restrict the area that you could throw the ball in, and that time the Shaw defense compensated properly for the sprint out pass.
3rd and 15, Leighton Johnson in motion for Holy Cross. Pistol look again, and they'll just go with the draw to Turner, and he has room to the near sideline. He may score to the 5, then knocked out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Actually make it will be the 3-yard line. It would be a first down and goal. A gain of 18 yards, a simple play, a safe call, but Holy Cross executes to perfection.
Holy Cross giving Shaw every opportunity to stop them in this particular case, but just a simple draw play, an excellent job of the backside guard pulling around through the hole. So great execution when on a simple draw play. I mean, that would be one of the ones as a head coach I'm going nuts when they're giving up. They're running a draw play, they're virtually giving up, and you didn't stop them.
Awfully frustrating for Shaw how Holy Cross is in 3rd down tonight, but they tackle a loss on the toss to the short side of the field, and a flag comes in as well, and it looks like this will be marked off again against Holy Cross. We'll see as we wait for the signal. That time Shaw had plenty of surge there in the stacked backfield. They won up front and holding the call to boot, so another opportunity here for Shaw to get a stop as let's march back. 1st and goal now at the 17-yard line. 13-yard penalty officially.
Running the power I with the fullback in front of the tailback, and then the power back offset to the left. That was the same play. They scored their first touchdown in the first quarter and tossed the ball out wide to Trey Turner. That time very well defensed by the Shaw front. Their goal line defense has been good tonight. 2
receivers deep side. Pistol look again. Snap to Fields. He'll drop straight back to throw under pressure, but he's up and has plenty of room to run. Now he'll throw at the last minute, and it's tipped and almost caught by the receiver behind. On that play, I'm a little surprised Fields didn't run with it. He had a couple receivers in the area trying to throw on the run, and fortunately for Archbishop Shaw, he did decide to throw the ball there.
Exactly. Did a good job once again of freeing himself up by being able to scramble, and he shows some acceleration because they had several Eagles in hot pursuit, but he was able to run away from them. Really should have just kept the ball and gotten some yardage running.
He had Ashton Smith with a couple of yards away from his defender, but it is hard to throw on the run running forward like that. 2nd and goal from the 17 instead. Same formation as Fields will drop straight back to throw. Has all day to throw as he moves around. Now under some pressure, and he will keep it this time inside the 15. Now losing down and taking a shot right to the chest and driven back at the 16. Shaw with good response there on the 2nd level to drop Fields backwards, set up 3rd and goal from the 16.
They're really meaning the Shaw Eagles are really getting very little pressure in the initial phase of the passing game. And he's just, it almost looks like a touch game. He's just dodging back and forth and slipping in and out, except the finish to the play wasn't like a touch game when he caught a ride well in the chest.
That's right, Daquan Charles laying the lumber, and Shaw just flooding the zone there, trying to see if they can coax Fields into making a mistake. He didn't there. Kept it now 3rd and 16. Will they throw? They will, and they'll throw to the end zone. Rodriguez wide open for the touchdown, and it looks like he burnt Charles outside the hash mark near side pitch. Shaw again can't get the stop on 3rd down, and Holy Cross has a 3-score lead.
Can't get off the field. This is a classic 4 verticals. All the receivers are running vertically down the field, and that's the middle of the 3 receivers going straight down the field. So the corner stays with the widest guy, the safety stays with the inside guy, and middle guy gets ignored. And Fields does a great job of just dropping it right in that inside seam.
His second touchdown pass of the night. The extra point is good. Darius Rodriguez now with 5 catches for 98 yards and a score, and Holy Cross has created some separation. 5:40 to go here in the third quarter. Tigers lead the Eagles of Archbishop Shaw 31-14. And for a Shaw team that prides itself on defense and has talented defensive backs on the field, Emmanuel, these third down issues, boy, it has to be killing Scott Bain's father and his staff tonight.
And it's third and longs, too, so it's third in the most advantageous situation you would think for a defense, but whether it's a busted coverage or whether it's just a lack of a pass rush that's been there all night, Shaw has not been able to get home and knock Fields off of it consistently enough. We saw it a couple of times on that drive, but that's really been all for the Shaw defense. It's been the front that's been kind of neutralized so far.
Making matters worse, the 17-point deficit, Coach, and you see a couple of the Shaw starting defensive linemen, Tyler Miles and Malcolm Rollins, stretching out there. They look winded. They might be dealing with some cramping issues, and they've been on the field a lot tonight, including this long drive that took off over half of the third quarter.
6-minute and 20-second drive with a bunch of third downs in there converted. So not only is that physically demanding, but it's also psychologically demanding as well, because you just can't get off the field. And that's what Coach Bain's father was concerned with coming into the season, that he wasn't sure whether his linebackers could really hold up to the attacks that they're going to see every week. And when you're playing this particular type of defense, you're depending on your linebackers to provide the 4th or 5th pass rusher and to get pressure on the quarterback. And they have been unable to do that. The pass protection of Holy Cross has been very good. Fields has been able to stay on balance and has, even when things are breaking down, he has thrown the ball away. So he's shown a tremendous mastery of the offense so far, and the Eagles can't get consistent pressure, especially on third down.
Now we're talking about a quarterback that's just a freshman in the Catholic League making his debut in the district. Now, what can you say about 12 of 18 for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns, Coach? Quite the debut.
Absolutely. And so he's just been outstanding, and it's the way that he's done it. It's not, it's been totally under control. And here's another
one of those swift kickoffs, and Shaw with Bradley Davis able to field it, retreats inside his 20, now has some room to move, and is brought down at about his own 28-yard line. And needless to say, with 5:34 to go and a 17-point deficit, guys, Archbishop Shaw needs a touchdown drive here.
Yeah, and they're getting to the point now that they can't take too long to do it. The time of possession now is completely out of the window. They've got to score and score somewhat quickly, because they've got to have 3 possessions sometime between now and the end of the game. So they've got to score quickly, and then still they got to find a way to get off the field on defense.
Coming out in the gun with Keller, he will hand it off to Regis. Has some room to move for a moment, wide side left, and now driven back after a gain of about 2 to the 30-yard line. Archbishop Shaw High School will host its annual open house for all prospective students on Monday, November 2nd from 6 to 8 p.m. Come tour the campus and meet the outstanding staff at Archbishop Shaw. See what Shaw has to offer. You can find out more by visiting archbishopshaw.org. And if you're the Eagles, you still need to run the football, to move the football. So we'll see how patient they are with sticking with it. And Keller here will take one under center, and it looks like he'll run that zone stretch play to the left, and Holy Cross up to the task. Vegas maybe a yard running left.
You saw a much better job of the Holy Cross defense in their pursuit to the yard in that stretch play, maintaining the integrity and not giving any lane whatsoever for Vegas to be able to attack.
The Academy of Our Lady will host its annual open house on Tuesday, October 13th at 4:30, 5:30, and 6:30. Please visit theacademyofourlady.org or call 504-341-6217 for more information. Shaw in the shotgun, facing 3rd and 7 from the 31. 3 wide receivers, wide side right. Keller will drop the throw now, roll to his left, and he'll have to run it, and it won't get very far, driven out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. Holy Cross had it covered, and Keller making the wise decision, but Shaw facing a 4th down after a scramble that only gained 3.
A very good job of defense by Holy Cross, being able to hold that coverage but still come up and knock Keller out of bounds well short of the first down.
So Holy Cross with a dream start to the second half, a long touchdown drive, and then forcing a 3-and-out, and Dufour will have to come in to punt it away for the Eagles. Myers back to receive near his own 40-yard line.
Kyrie, other side, Kyrie. Kyrie, other side.
31-14, Holy Cross, with 4:12 to go in the third quarter. Rugby-style kick again for Dufour, and a line drive into Holy Cross territory. Myers will get as far away from it as possible. It'll roll dead at about the 30-yard line. So an effective punt there at 38 yards, but Holy Cross has the football again with 4:03 left here in quarter number 3. We want to remind you that the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase has another great rivalry next Friday night as Jesuit and Holy Cross meet up in a Catholic League showdown. It's live on both WJHNO TV Channel 20 and hit sportsnola.com. That's Friday night at 7. One of the oldest rivalries in the state, Jesuit and Holy Cross, next week on the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase. And Jesuit coming off of a loss, and Holy Cross in position to gain a win in its Catholic League opener. Remember, Jesuit won the state title last year in Division I, and Holy Cross would love revenge for a blowout loss to the Blue Jays, as it's a fake handoff and a run up the middle. And the first appearance tonight for Kyle Schexnayder, the senior quarterback, who, interesting that we thought we'd see him a lot earlier, but it's been Fields who's kept him on the bench. Schexnayder, a very good mobile quarterback who played well last year as the starter for the Tigers.
You could really see there that it almost looked like a Wildcat look, making the sweep, and he attacks with quickness on the inside. An excellent job there by the senior.
Gain of 7, and you know the Tigers would like to keep it on the ground and run clock, and they have the right quarterback in there for the job. As it's a hand up the Turner, and he's gone. Forget about it, off the left side. Nobody will catch Trey Turner as he will go 63 yards. Actually, it's Ashton Smith who will go 63 yards, who's been outstanding as a starter for them while Turner was injured. On that play, let's face it, Holy Cross caved in the left side. Nobody came anywhere near Ashton Smith, who scores his second touchdown on the ground this season.
A classic wide zone or stretch play, not even touched. Really did a great job of sealing off the inside of the Shaw defense, and Ashton Smith never had to break stride. He just hits it right in the lane between the edge rusher and the corner. Didn't have to slow down until he virtually hit his head on the goal.
Longest run of Ashton Smith's career. The extra point is up, and it is good. And the junior running back has given Holy Cross a massive 38-14 lead here with 3:16 to go in the third quarter. Just like in the first half, first 2 possessions here in half number 2 for Holy Cross result in 7.
Everything going wrong for the Eagles at this point, not being able to get off the field on third down, and then 3-and-out, and then a 2-play drive, giving up a long run. So they are looking at the Eagles right now. They are really disheartened, and they still have more than 15 minutes more than 15 minutes to go in the game.
And last year, 27-21 win for Archbishop Shaw. Shaw was never behind and really was able to dictate the tempo and run with Regis, who had 28 carries for 229 yards in the victory. Tonight, Holy Cross with the early advantage put Shaw behind the 8 ball early, Emmanuel. And at this point, you have to keep battling. You never know what can happen, but it's been one of those type of nights that become nightmares for the Eagles to open district play.
And now the tempo has to be accelerated even further on this drive for Shaw. And you look at, being on the field defensively for over 6 minutes, and a product of that, coming back in the next drive and give up another score in 2 plays.
Kickoff is fielded by Trey Regis, who finally gets to return a kickoff at his own 13. He'll have to fight through half the coverage team for Holy Cross. And does what he can, brought down at the 24-yard line. Only 8 yards on the return. And once again, we'll see what Matt Keller and this offense can do. Not their specialty to have to play from behind, but they're going to have to try to get something going here with 3:08 to go in quarter number 3. I want to wish good luck to Coach Micah Semino and the Shaw Eagle cross country team as they compete in the West Bank Championship at Air Park in Del Chase later this month, as well as the St. Joseph's Invitational in Baton Rouge on Saturday, October 3rd at 9 a.m. Another possession start for the Eagles, and they will keep it on the ground with Vegas, get into the hands of their best player, Holy Cross, running to the ball and playing with obvious momentum and enthusiasm now, leading by 24. Vegas gets about 4 on the play, but you can understand the Tigers are fired.
Tigers are doing a very good job holding the point of attack and pursuing at the proper angles. You don't see any defender chasing behind another defender. Their interrelationship is outstanding right now.
Vegas with 13 carries for 125 yards. He had a big start to the game, including a 45-yard run. Now on 2nd and 6, Keller carries, and nothing doing right side on the keeper. And the first man there to drive him back is Jack Heidingsfelder, the senior linebacker.
And once again, on the outside play, this time with Vegas leading Keller, doing a great job of keeping the play contained, getting it to turn in, and the pursuit angles right now by Holy Cross are just outstanding.
Gain of 1, so 3rd down and maybe a short 5 for Holy Cross. This will be for Archbishop Shaw with the clock running inside 2 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. Holy Cross has 1/3 down for the most part tonight. Can Shaw keep this drive going? Keller will dump it off for a screen, and talk about red right away. Vegas immediately dropped for a loss. And wow, just an outstanding job defensively as Holy Cross saw that one coming, and the play made by Jacques Boudreau, the Tulane commitment, the outstanding senior leading tackler for Holy Cross.
Because it looked like strategically they had called a good play. They were going to try to slip Vegas out of the backfield and throw it a screen. But Jacques Boudreau was having none of that. He's the one that recognized it while they were blitzing linebackers and had at least a 5-man rush. So a potentially good play was undone by Jacques Boudreau.
Loss of 1 on the pass play, 4th and 2 to have to put it away again. Low line drive, end over end, will bounce at the 44 of Holy Cross and roll inside the 30 as Meyer plays it safe. A little upset that he didn't go after that one, but made the right decision with the big league, and it's down at the 26 of the Tigers.
And the kick was low, spinning, and just short enough that he'd had to make an exceptional effort to get to it in the air. That's how that particular style of punt is supposed to work the last 2 times that Shaw has executed it. So it was wise that Myers got out of the way.
On these turf fields, as you've explained on broadcast before, Coach, makes it even more difficult to field these bounding kicks. Shaw struggled with it quite a bit in the first half on kickoffs, as we recall.
Exactly. You know, some areas of the field are firmer than others, and with the top dressing underneath it, it's an uneven surface, so it can have some strange bounces.
Good stop there by Shaw. First man to hit Turner on the handoff. Right up the gut was Brandon Gotro, the senior Eagle linebacker. No gain on the carries. We're 40 seconds and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Holy Cross in command. Up 38-14 over Archbishop Shaw, and it may be a situation where both teams will be more content to keep the ball on the ground. Holy Cross in position for a district opening victory.
That's right. Fields is back in the game, so it only gave Scheck-Snyder 2 snaps, too short a drive.
And it worked out for him, didn't it? As it's a handoff to Turner once more. It wasn't needed when Ashton Smith broke free for the touchdown. Turner running hard there and gains maybe 3 on the play on what will be the final play of quarter number 3. And Holy Cross has created plenty of separation. 2 touchdowns in the 3rd quarter, and they will take a 38-14 lead to the final period over Archbishop Shaw. You're listening to Archbishop Shaw football on WDSO 990 AM and watching it on the web at sportsnola.com.
Semino and the Shaw Eagle cross country team as they travel to Baton Rouge in the St. Joseph's Invitational on Saturday, October 3rd at 9 a.m. Good luck to the Shaw Eagles cross-country team. Archbishop Shaw High School will host its annual open house for all prospective students on Monday, November 2nd from 6 to 8 p.m. Come tour the campus and meet the outstanding staff at Archbishop Shaw. See what Shaw has to offer. You can find out more by visiting archbishopshaw.org.
Hello, I'm Ashley J. Ryan Jr., President of First NBC Bank. There's something special about sports.
Go ahead and bring us back from break. It's a little longer than we needed here.
Just as we are fully invested in assisting our bank customers achieve their goals, we share that same commitment to local athletes. Along with classroom study, the athletic development of our young men and women also helps build life skills such as leadership, commitment, and teamwork. Please join me in supporting our area schools and their talented athletes.
Well, Trey Turner, as we started the fourth quarter early, it looked like he had broken free for a 71-yard touchdown. He did, but the yellow hanky brings it back. So instead of a long score, 3rd and 6, as the hold was called downfield. At the 30, the situation for Holy Cross, and dropping straight back to throw his field, steps up and fires down the far sideline, and coming back for the football and not able to keep it from hitting the turf is Brett Carter on an underthrown pass, one-on-one up top with Jawan Gray, who had good coverage. It's tough to cover those underthrows there, and a really nice job by Gray of sticking with Carter, running a streak down the far sideline.
Yeah, one of the few times that the ball was not in a catchable area, but that beautifully executed screenplay on the play before that they called holding on. The Holy Cross Tigers have some explosive players. They've got a lot of team speed.
No question about it. We knew about Turner. We've seen Rodrigue tonight. Ashton Smith, who has done a fine job with his opportunities at running back as well, on a nice hanging punt that'll bounce inside the 30-yard line and inside the 25. And that time not taking a chance with it. Back deep was Bradley Davis, so an excellent job of Holy Cross again on special teams. Advantage Tigers. Shaw with the football, trailing by 24 now with 11:27 to go, and clearly the kicking game setting the tone of this football game.
Absolutely, that's going to be important going forward. Even in the first punt of the night, very well executed. It took a while to get all 11 on the field because one player was a little bit late getting on, but the execution was outstanding. And as we're finding out, the kicking game is so important in the Catholic League.
Hey, it's important in football in general. If you lose the battle, it's that third part of the game. And we were talking with the two head coaches of these teams about special teams on the field, and it's certainly favored the visiting Tigers tonight. 1st and 10, Keller with the fake out of the shotgun, now under heavy pressure, and he will go down. Kenny Abel, we haven't heard much from him tonight, but the UL Lafayette commitment beat his man off the edge and was right on Keller, who couldn't get away.
Yeah, Keller couldn't outrun him, and when he tried to avoid him, couldn't get away from him. So a terrific pass rush from the outside, running down Matt Keller.
Loss of 8 on the play. 2nd down and 18 now. For Shaw at their own 16. We're inside 11 minutes to go, and if you're the Eagles, you're trying to mount something moving forward here with the big deficit as district play only gets tougher. We'll talk about that in moments as it's a handoff to Vegas. Had some room past the 20 and brought down to the original line of scrimmage. At about the 23-yard line, another 3rd and long facing Archbishop Shaw.
Vegas once again showing his explosiveness. It's been unfortunate that the Eagles attack both offensively and defensively just has not gotten on track here in the second half. The Holy Cross defense has really stepped it up in the second half, the way that Shaw had to step it up in order to get back in the game. So an outstanding performance in this half so far by the Holy Cross defense.
We'll talk about the daunting task next week for Shaw. Another big rivalry game as Keller avoids the rush, steps up and flies down the field. But it's intercepted by Shaw at least 5 yards under throw. Brought down on the play was Taylor Freeman. In the corner for Shaw. possession before Holy Cross. He picked it up around his own 4-yard line, and that time Keller stepped up to avoid the rush. His man maybe had a step down the right hash mark, but the ball woefully underthrown.
And that's one of the strong suits of the Holy Cross defense. When you look at their defensive back, you got some experienced people there. Kyle Myers, a senior, C.J. White, a senior, Taylor Fleming, a senior, Trevor Riley, a senior. So they've got a lot of experience in the secondary, and that has really showed tonight, because that's another difference in the game. Shaw has had no chance of getting the ball down the field against an experienced secondary.
First turnover for the Archbishop Shaw offense, and now I hand off to Turner to stack for a loss of about 1 on the play. Credit Tyrone Miles for the stop from his right defensive spot.
The Shaw defensive front is still going at it hard, and except for one play this half, has done a good job from tackle to tackle. They're a little despondent right now, but they're still playing hard.
Rummel, the opponent to face Archbishop Shaw next week in the battle for the megaphone, in a game you can hear as a Rummel broadcast next Saturday on WGSO. And by the way, Rummel down 7-3 third quarter against Don Bosco Prep in New Jersey. Toss left to Turner, who gets maybe 2 on the play on the far sideline as Shaw continues to battle here and make Holy Cross earn it on the ground.
Well, it's 3rd and long again, this time 3rd and 9. So does Holy Cross have him right where they want him? That's the question, because Shaw has just not been able to get off. No, one time they were able to get off the field, but that was after a holding penalty on a long screen play. So let's see what's in Holy Cross's bag of tricks this time, because most of the time they've had the answer.
It'd be interesting to see if Holy Cross even throws the football here, as we're at 8:30 and counting in the ball game. 24-point lead. Will they just keep it on the ground? They will, with the draw to Turner, who has some room into Shaw territory, and a first down, but he fumbles the football. It's still loose, and it looks like Archbishop Shaw has fallen on it at the 44-yard line. Are they going to say the runner was down? Waiting for an indication. Still haven't seen one. If it's a fumble, it'll be Shaw football. Still waiting. A big discussion here. And we're waiting. Coach loves this, folks.
Here we go.
And it will be Shaw football. So the first turnover forced by the Eagles tonight. And I believe the man who fell on it was Tyrone Miles, as Turner had a first down on the draw into Shaw territory, but was stripped. And the Eagles, continuing to fight, get the ball back with 8:17 to go, down 38-14.
For the second time in long yardage, a draw works for big yardage, but you got to finish the play, and the ball came loose as it was going down. A Tiger had a chance at it, but as those footballs have a tendency, they could squirt away from it, and it certainly did right into a Shaw Eagles stomach.
I've been impressed by both teams defensively with the ability to tackle one-on-one, and both secondaries. You mentioned the experience of Holy Cross, and we've seen Shaw do a nice job in space as well. The big plays have been ones that have been well blocked and nobody being in the area. The tackling's been very good tonight.
Exactly. We still have officials talking to each other. That's never good. Okay. Now we've got 7 officials and only 3 of them are talking, but I can't possibly imagine what they're trying to figure out here. And
as we wait for that, Emmanuel, as a Shaw graduate in particular, I know you've enjoyed watching the career of Trey Regis, and of course during the Hank Tierney era, so many good running backs and running quarterbacks during that time. But Regis, as a runner and a guy as a pure tailback, has to rank up there amongst the very best in school history.
He absolutely does. And you look at the balance and the vision and the ability to be able to break tackles in the open field, all qualities that Regis possesses, and all qualities that are going to make him quite a get for somebody at the next level. But it's been a joy to watch, how his career has developed over the years. 4 officials now in the huddle, and finally we have some indication of what. I have no idea. They're calling
another one in.
Another one in.
3 should figure it out.
Why is this guy
Well, we hope you're enjoying the broadcast on WGSO 990 AM and, of course, on SportsNola.com because, hey, we give you everything, including a referee's corner. I wish we could put a mic on them so we can hear what riveting conversation is going on here. After what appears to be a turnover and Shaw ready to run a snap from their own 44-yard line. It's either a fumble or it's not, and I thought we determined that about 5 minutes ago.
That certainly seems to be. Now another guy's coming in. Is there
Roboto getting some sort of explanation.
Is there some question about whether a whistle had blown while the ball was loose?
And that's something that should be cut and dried as well. There either was an official who said he blew his whistle or he didn't. We do want to remind you that Archbishop Shaw High School will host its annual open house for all prospective students on Monday, November 2nd from 6 to 8 p.m. Come tour the campus and meet the outstanding staff at Archbishop Shaw. See what Shaw has to offer. You can find out more by visiting archbishopshaw.org. And once again, you'll see these Holy Cross Tigers live in the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase next week, next Friday night at 7. The Great American Rivalry Series game between the Blue Jays and the Tigers live on WHNO Channel 20 in New Orleans and at SportsNola.com. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. That's Holy Cross and Jesuit live on Channel 20 and live on SportsNola.com next week on the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase. They're going to let Shaw run a play from scrimmage here. Happy to report that, and a handoff to Vegas, who has room inside Holy Cross territory. Well blocked on the left side by the Eagle line, and a first down for Vegas on a gain of 15.
An unbalanced line that time that they had the tight end and the receivers all to the left side. Only had a guard and tackle to the right side and went ahead and ran the wide zone of the stretch play to the unbalanced side. A nice job of sorting out the defenders in the zone blocking scheme, and Trey Regis could take full advantage of it.
Longest run of the half for Regis. Only had 5 carries of the football. Now a fake handoff, and Keller will run behind Regis and show some speed and ability to break arm tackles for another Shaw first down. Gain of 11 near sideline before he steps out of bounds.
That's a very interesting counter-type scheme that they come up with, that they fake it to Regis, running from right to left, and it looks like Keller's going to take it and go to the right, but then he cuts right back and follows Regis to the left. So we've seen that particular scheme a couple of times tonight, and that's a very interesting scheme that Shaw's come up with with an unbalanced line this time.
Keller more dangerous probably as a runner than as a passer, although he's developed nicely in his 2 years as a starter. He'll hand it off to Regis left side, and he's brought down. Good tackle, sure-handed, wrapping around the legs is Chris Collette, the sophomore linebacker, getting some action here in the fourth quarter.
Much better job that time of holding the point of attack by the Holy Cross front. Didn't allow any seam for Regis to be able to fight.
Gain of 2 for Archbishop Shaw, 7:37, and Holy Cross 38-14 lead. Ball at the 28-yard line, second down and 8. Keller will just keep running left, student body left, if you will, and he'll put his head down and push the pile and gain about 6 or 7 on the play. Hard run by the senior quarterback, and you don't necessarily want to see him making runs like that here in the fourth quarter, but the kid's a competitor.
And that was a pure single wing looking type play. You had the line unbalanced to the right, but you had 2 wing backs to the left and Regis to the left, and so that looked like right out of Newt Rockney, America's coach, running single wing football.
I think that's something that some guy who used to coach St. James High would appreciate in the playbook. I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the old guy would have. I don't know about the new guy.
3rd and 3 handoff. Regis first down. Surge up the middle inside the 20 and brought down at the 15. Well blocked once more by the Shaw offensive line, and the Eagles trying to put maybe some cosmetic points on the board, but they're doing it via the legs of Keller and Regis.
Well, as is tradition among good football programs like Shaw, especially in the Catholic League, you play every play. You don't let the emotion of the game so much get to you that you stop playing. You just keep playing.
After a gain of 8, a fake to Regis this time, and Keller will run forward and spin off a tackler up the middle of the field. Maybe a gain of 3 on the play as we reach the hydration break at the 6:02 mark of this game, with Holy Cross well in command, leading 38-14. Keller on the play will give him a gain of 3. And we want to remind our listeners out there that the Academy of Our Lady will host its annual open house on Tuesday, October 13th at 4:30, 5:30, and 6:30. Please visit theacademyofourlady.org or call 504-341-6217 for more information. It's funny, we talk about rivalry games. Certainly Holy Cross and Jesuit is the oldest one in the Catholic League. Every week's a rivalry game in these matchups, and everybody wants to make John Curtis a rival now since they're in this district as well. But for Shaw, it's special when they play Archbishop Rummel, the two archdiocesan high schools matching up and battling for the megaphone. East Bank versus West Bank has been special for many decades.
Absolutely, and being a part of that on 3 different occasions, it's something that is taken very seriously. As you mentioned, the 2 schools started at the same time, and the tradition not only of playing the game, but the ceremony after of presenting the megaphone to one team or the other. All the teams get in the middle of the field for the presentation of the megaphone. That is an important part of the ride.
Doing an outstanding job with that footwork, slipping by one defender inside the 5 and setting up first and goal for the Eagles. And you see those feet by Regas. He can take those tippy-tap type steps there and run with power when he needs to as well. A complete back.
Yes, he can convert speed to power and power to speed. I think you described it very, very well, Jude. A very complete back.
Gain of 8 for Regas. First and goal from the 4. Trey will take the ball and take it into the end zone. Off the left side, well blocked. Good drive by Shaw, sticking with Webster best, keeping it on the ground, and for Regas, the second crushing touchdown of night.
If that's what you do, you got to keep doing it. You can't dig yourself a deeper hole by doing something you're not good at. And they were very creative on that drive, running the football, getting in some different formations. He was unbalanced line again. They used multiple wing backs and pulling linemen and the like, and several different types of counter play. So a very creative drive as the Eagles are going to go for 2.
Makes sense to try to draw within 16. They'd need 3 touchdowns and 3 two-point conversions. They go for the first one here, and the throw by Keller on the run low is caught. What a grab. Late flag on the play, but the two-point conversion for the moment is good. Patrick Allen, we haven't called his name pretty much all night, making a nice catch just inside the goal line, but we'll see about the flag. If it stands, Shaw will trail 38-22, and it looks like the penalty is on Holy Cross. At least that's what Matt Keller, the Shaw quarterback, is indicating, and it looks like the play will stand. Nice job run to make a throw across his body, and a good catch by Allen, the 5'9 receiver, as they keep it off the turf and secure it for the two-point conversion. The flag is on Holy Cross, and 8 points on the board for Shaw here with 5:24 to go.
Yes, they called a personal foul internally, and that's going to be administered on the kickoff, but a bootleg type of play, starting with Flo to the left, and Keller coming back to the right, trying to run a pick play. 2 wide receivers coming to the inside and picking for the fullback, trying to slide into the flat. The initial coverage was there. The pick didn't work very well, but Keller stayed alive long enough to throw one low, and the receiver made a great catch.
Stranger things have happened. The personal foul on the kickoff, that gives Shaw an opportunity to kick this ball off at the Holy Cross 45-yard line. If they could recover what will surely be an onside kick try here, we might have ourselves a ball game, Coach.
I can guarantee you that Coach Roboto right now is thinking about everything that can go wrong.
Well, we're trying to,
we're trying to describe it, but he's even thinking of some things that we're not thinking of, because he's having to implement strategies that they've worked on with the hands team in this case, onside prevent, and how to handle the bouncing ball, how to handle a lot of different possibilities here.
And then Dufour looks like he'll kick it to the far side right, and gets not the hop he was looking for. One bounce and right into the hands of Kenny Hebert, right into his gut, and it was offsides on Shaw on top of that.
They're going to get to kick this again.
An odd high school rule that I'm sure the coaches on the sideline wearing white can't stand here, because it was ideal for Holy Cross. It didn't get the high hop that Dufour was looking for, and Hebert, the defensive end, showing good hands there to grab it immediately. Instead, we'll do this all over again from the 50-yard line.
I'm trying this. See, this is unusual where he's got the ball spotted. It's almost a half yard behind the restraining line of the 50-yard line in this case.
This time look for, but the man behind Hebert able to corral it and drops to 2 knees, and it is Kyle Myers at the 36-yard line. Holy Cross again really doing a fine job in every facet of the game on special teams tonight.
And that has been a big advantage, that they've gained positive field position on every exchange of kicks or put Shaw in a hole. So an outstanding effort special teams-wise for the Tigers, and that's been one of the big differences in the game.
Shaw needs a stop at this point. They have 2 timeouts, so do the Tigers, who will snap it from their own 36 with 5:19 left. In motion is Rodriguez. He'll take the handoff on the fly sweep, and there's a hold called in the backfield as Rodriguez will take it down the near sidelines, and it looks like he will score. But a second touchdown is coming back as Rodriguez avoids a desperate tackle attempt there by Brandon Gautreaux. Would have been a 64-yard touchdown, but it's coming back.
Yeah, they're going to call a holding penalty on the corner as the reach block of the tight end got his hands outside of the frame, and so whether he grabbed or not becomes immaterial because he got his hands outside the framework of the body, and as the defender tried to rotate away from him, was being restrained from doing that.
And the signal coach was a personal foul. I'm not sure what exactly about the point of attack drew the 15-yard variety penalty here as the ball spotted all the way back at the 15-yard line for Holy Cross. So if you count it off, a massive penalty. Wow, interesting. 21-yard penalty.
Well, back from the spot of the foul, and that was a 15-yard penalty as opposed to 10. So that's
exactly what Shaw needed in that situation. Now, first and 31. If you can't get a stop here in your Shaw, you'll have nightmares at this point, and that could get him back in the ball game. We'll see what will happen here with Schexnayder. I do believe that quarterback, and he will fake the fly sweep and keep it, and is driven backwards after a minimum gain, maybe 2 on the play, as Holy Cross defended that one well. They saw the fly sweep a moment ago. This time, the senior quarterback Schexnayder with the keep, and the backside defense was there to answer the challenge.
I mean, we did see a comeback in the matinee game this afternoon, where with under 6 minutes to go, Curtis was able to come from a 14-point deficit, a 2-score deficit, to tie the game and get it into overtime, and Shaw is hoping to be able to duplicate that.
I checked the cliche book before I said stranger things have happened, Coach. 2nd and 30 from the 16. Fly sweep again, this time Leighton Johnson upended right away on the play. Maybe a gain or 2, and Shaw doing exactly what they need to do. The clock, though, does continue to run. 4:10 counting. That time the tackle made by Luke Cahill from his linebacking spot.
Yeah, doing a good job of milking as much time off the clock as they possibly can before they snap the ball, in the wider plays and misdirection plays also use up more time, because it's going to be very difficult with 3rd and 27 to pick that up. They were trying to nibble at it, and so now I think it's important that they keep the clock running.
Johnson's carry, 2nd of the game. He now has 20 yards on 2 totes, and they will try to set up the screen. Schexnayder, and it is caught. No, it isn't. Incomplete. So talk about helping the cause. Exactly what Shaw needed on the play. A safe call, except if the ball hits the turf. Shaw able to keep both of their timeouts, trailing by 16 with 3:32 to go, and the Tigers will have to punt it away.
Turns into a free timeout. With that, you're trying to do something that you get a safe completion, keep the clock running, and maybe make a play out of it. But an incomplete pass. It was interesting that Schexnayder was in the game at that time as well, depending on the senior leadership, I guess, in a situation where they need to try to calm some things down.
Heidingsfelder will punt it away and gets it to turn over nicely for him into Shaw territory, and letting it hit the ground and taking a Tiger bounce inside the 30. That helps the cause in a big way. For Holy Cross as it stops at the 29-yard line, and I think there's some regret by Sean Michael Douglas that he didn't catch that football.
Absolutely, that flips the field when you get down to it. That's a dramatic change in field position because he didn't catch the ball in the air. That's why you have Sean Michael Dumas, the senior, back there to be able to do it. That's an extra 20 yards that they lost on that bounce. And in this case, yardage is time as well because you got to score and score quickly.
3:20 to go. 38-22. Shaw trails. They put 8 on the board the last time the offense had the ball. They're still in this thing, but they need points, and they need them in a hurry as Keller will take the snap under center. The one back, of course, is Regis. 2 wide receivers up top. Hand off to Regis. Some room surging forward. Shaw knows they put it in the hands of the best, and he gains about 7 on the play, but the clock, the enemy, 3:08 and counting.
Once again, going from an unbalanced line, backing off the left tight end, and they're able to get him to be able to pull and wall off through the hole. So this unbalanced line has been effective for the Eagles.
Gain of 8 for Regis, 2nd and 2. Now Keller will keep running wide side and will be knocked out of bounds, and I'm not sure that he has the first down here. They'll mark him out at the 37-yard line. Should be about a half-yard short. And I think I almost choked the there as we have our wires were crossed.
Whiplash. I went up, the headset decided to stay put.
I tell you, folks, if you saw how many wires we were dealing with a double broadcast tonight, it'd be a good way to be in a tangled web for hours, as it is a first down for Shaw. Keller will keep on the sneak to keep the chains moving, and it'll stop the clock with 2:46 to go. Gain of 2 to the Eagles 39.
You know, in a previous life, an occupational hazard was somebody running into you on the sideline.
Wait a second.
And now this is an occupational hazard. We don't have a headset.
We don't have to have what coaches on the sideline have, which is people holding the wires for them. As Keller will drop the throw, doesn't find anybody, now in trouble, and he will be sacked at about the 32-yard line. Again, the coverage matchup is highly in favor of Holy Cross tonight, but you had to look to take a shot, and it looks like the sack will be credited to Kenny Carradine, the junior defensive tackle.
Even though, Jude, you're going back in the day when you're remembering underlings holding the wires on the sideline. That's been like 20 years ago.
They're still doing that.
Do you see any wires on the sideline?
Well, I mean, that's true.
Might have schlepper guys carrying
I don't pay to. I don't talk about any wireless sponsors or anything like that, unless they want to pay me. 154 and counting. Shaw will set up what could be a lateral to Regis to the right side, and Regis trying to do it all by himself and doesn't get much. Brought down at his own 36, and the clock continues to roll. Maybe a gain of 3 on the play, and Shaw needs to hurry.
Yeah, they're not making any progress here, and once again, yardage is time, and they're going backwards right now.
And the clock continues to roll. Shaw with 2 timeouts left. They'd like to keep them if they need them. Might have needed one right now to stop this thing as they finally get on the ball on 3rd and 12. Keller will look at some miscommunication there as the receiver stopped, and Keller thought he'd keep going, and a late flag on the play as Keller was looking for Chris Gilmore, the junior wideout, and we'll see what this little hanky is all about.
But this is going to be lineman downfield because he had a running play called, but the left wide receiver was uncovered. The corner got out there late, and they were trying to just throw it to him quick. Keller thought he was going to go straight down the field, and he was just going to take a quick hitch.
And it is declined, and it's been a struggle in the passing game tonight for Keller, who looks like unofficially just 1 for 5 yards. Shaw's had success on the ground, but not nearly enough, and now they face 4th and 12 with 1:13 left from the Eagles' 37-yard line. Keller in the gun. Regis to his right, 3 wide receivers to the wide side right, and Keller takes the snap. Looks left, runs that same play down the sideline, and it's caught for a first down inside the 25 and holding on to it. If at first you don't succeed, they go back to Gilmore again, and that pass with an absolute beauty for a huge gainer. Clock stops, 1:07 left.
That was really well done because he took an outside release on the corner and then did what we call stack it. He worked back inside, so the defensive back was on the back of the receiver, giving his outside arm free to lob the ball in there. So a beautiful throw and catch that was set up by the great route.
Gain of 40 on the play. By far the best execution on a pass play tonight. Shaw calls their second timeout with 1:07 left. The breathing coach, they're breathing, but just barely, and a big pass play when they absolutely had to have it on fourth down.
And you just keep playing. I mean, that's an important quality that you hope to learn from the game and develop a habit that you can take forward in life, that while there's still time on the clock, you keep playing and let the result take care of itself. And the Eagles can be proud tonight of the fact that when they were at their lowest after those first two drives by Holy Cross in the third quarter, they've continued to fight back.
180 yards rushing for Regis tonight on 21 carries, and Keller has done his part on the ground as well, but finally finding success through the air. With 1:07 left, he takes the snap and looks left again and throws it short, looking for a back shoulder play, it appeared there, but well covered as he looked for Gilmore once more. Credit Trevor Riley, he wasn't beaten that time.
Yeah, very, very good coverage that time. Riley was off in coverage this time, and they tried to throw one, as you mentioned, short to the back shoulder of the receiver, but it was too low.
Much better matchup to try to address here on the short side of the field, one-on-one, versus dealing with Myers, even though you'd love to get the ball in the hands of Allen. So far tonight, Myers has won the matchup big time.
He has really played well. What an impressive-looking young man that he is, as you mentioned. We had talked to him when we had Holy Cross on PRI. Very impressive young man, but on the field, he is hugely impressive.
They'll run it to Regis. They'll have a first down inside the 10. The clock will stop here with 57 seconds left. The ball will be spotted at the 9-yard line. Gain of 13 for Regis as he approaches yet another 200-yard gain, but Shaw needs to score quickly as the clock starts rolling again. 50 seconds and counting. First and goal for Archbishop Shaw. Keller will take the snap and roll to his right, looking, and will eventually throw it out the back of the end zone. Nothing doing. Holy Cross had every eligible receiver blanketed.
They meaning Holy Cross's defense, has done a great job of defensing movement passes when the quarterback is getting out on the edge and a sprint out in this case. Really great coordination of the secondary, which is Coach Robato's specialty, the head coach. He's done a really good job of schooling them to keep their relationship versus the movement passes of Shaw.
We'll watch Denzel McCoy now, the receiver, at the bottom, as now Keller will set up a play that's a screen the other way, and Regis drops the ball. Would have had to make a man miss immediately, but you wanted to see him catch that and see what he could do with it. But at least the clock stops here with 38 seconds to go. 3rd and 9 from the 9. Shaw trailing by 16 here against Holy Cross. Again, 38 seconds left, and Shaw has battled here to the final seconds.
It's fun when he has the ball in the open field, and that drop deprived us of that particular opportunity. You're exactly right. There was an unblocked defender in front of him, but he's made him grab air a lot during the course of the night.
Two receivers to the left, the wide side up top. Allen matched up with Myers again, and they'll just hand it to Regis, and he has room, and he will not get into the end zone, although he'll spin and push. He'll be brought down at the 3, and Shaw will probably have to burn their last timeout, and they do, with 31 seconds left before a 4th down do or die.
And the Eagles trying to build upon and end on a positive note tonight to carry into their contest with Rummel next week. And that's going to be fun to be able to do that game for WGSO as well. That's going to be. I'm trying to think. I think it'll be the fourth year I'll be able to do that with Kemp. So that's going to be an outstanding effort. But the Eagles are able to carry something positive out of this, even though certainly they're going to fall short.
And unofficially, just another 200-yard rushing game for Regis. I have him at 201 on the night. He is simply outstanding. You know it's coming, but good luck trying to stop it over 4 quarters. Now your options are open. You just need to get the ball in the end zone any way you can, Coach. I think number 5 might need the football right about now.
Exactly. He's fun to watch.
And you're thinking about 2 plays as well here, because if you can get it in, you've got to have the 2-point conversion to keep this thing going. So interesting thought processes going on the Shaw sideline. First things first, can you get it in the end zone? 31 seconds left.
They're going unbalanced line again, and they tried to go on a quick count, and I don't think the center got the memo.
You can see he's upset with himself, and Justin Adams, who's been really the rock in the middle of that offensive line. We haven't talked about the offensive line enough tonight, obviously. Cameron Jackal, who's just a junior, a big prospect at left tackle, and we've seen the success the Eagles have had running left. Other offensive linemen, the senior left guard, Mitch Schaefer, has done a fine job all year long. John Cotton, a senior at right tackle. Austin Billiot, a freshman at 270 pounds, as Keller will look and fire, and incomplete looking for McCoy, dragging across the back of the end zone. Holy Cross with the stop they needed on 4th and goal from the 8, and that will do it. The Tigers will escape the West Bank with a big district opening victory, leading 38-22. All they have to do is kneel out.
And an excellent effort by the Holy Cross Tigers, really complete in the way that they played tonight. As we thought, an excellent job running the football, but were very efficient in throwing the ball throughout the course of the game. Great job in the kicking game, and defensively picked it up in the second half. Gave up some yardage here in the 4th quarter, but the start of the 3rd quarter was a very good job by the Holy Cross defense. So a very complete victory by the Tigers tonight, and that should bode well going forward into their great rivalry next week against Jesuit.
The freshman quarterback Fields takes the knee. It's appropriate that he would have the ball in his hands at the end of this one. Holy Cross has an excellent freshman quarterback on their hands. Trey Turner, Darius Rodriguez, so many playmakers, confidence, and now they are 3-1 on the year. 1-0 in District 9 5A with a victory over Archbishop Shaw tonight as we're all zeros. Ball game over. Shaw falls in this one to 2-2 on the year. 0-1 in district play. 38-22 the final, Emmanuel. And for Shaw, you take the positive from this game. They dug a hole for themselves with the special team struggled early, although Holy Cross took advantage of their chances most of the night. But Shaw kept battling, and they won't be an easy out too often in district play moving forward. They'll have to shake off this loss and deal with an excellent Rummel team, though, next week.
This is an offense that we've seen that can move the ball down the field. Like you said, just putting themselves behind the 8 ball, getting behind 2 scores early, with the miscues in the special teams aspect of the game. But that's where your bread and butter is. If you're playing from behind, it's obviously much tougher to come back, especially with tonight. Where Holy Cross really stood out was the secondary. Keller was not comfortable taking shots down the field, weren't a lot of passes thrown, period, throughout the game. And all the passes that we saw were shorter routes. Didn't take a lot of chances down the field, and that's a testament to what Holy Cross was able to do down the field in man matchups against Shaw. And a big key for them next week, obviously, you don't want to fall behind by 2 scores when you face especially a quality opponent like Rummel.
Archbishop Shaw will host its annual open house for all prospective students on Monday, November 2nd from 6 to 8 p.m. Come tour the campus and meet the outstanding staff at Archbishop Shaw. See what Shaw has to offer, and you can find out more by visiting archbishopshaw.org. And another website to keep in mind when it comes to Shaw athletics, all the official information on the Archbishop Shaw Eagles available at shaweagles.org. Each sport has its own page filled with schedules, rosters, statistics, and photos from games and contests. At shaweagles.org, your official source for Shaw sports. I'm Jude Young along with the coach Rick Gailey and Emmanuel Peppis wrapping it up tonight. Coach, your final thoughts on this one? You have to be impressed with Holy Cross. We understand why they have several Division I prospects on this team on both sides of the ball, and enough of that showed tonight. And they, as we mentioned many times, look very good and solid on special teams as well, something that Shaw will have to clean up moving forward.
And it's that completeness or that balance that they have between offense, defense, and kicking game that they've got to depend on, because they're not overpowering running the football, but they're very effective. They're not wide open in the passing game, but they could be very effective, and also in defensively. At times they did a good job with the front. They're secondary is outstanding, and so that's going to bode well going forward. But the Tigers are going to have to bank on their completeness if they're going to hope to contend for the championship in the Catholic League. I think it's a very positive matchup for them next week against Jesuit. It looks like they match up very well with the Blue Jays, but it's going to be interesting to see going forward whether they're going to have the physicality to be able to compete with Rummel and Curtis and Brother Martin.
Chandler Fields with 2 touchdown passes and a touchdown run on a sneak at the goal line. Trey Turner healthy and showing it, although he had to fight for much of what he had tonight successfully on the ground. He had a touchdown run. He also had a touchdown catch, and clearly moving forward you just look at this Holy Cross team and you know they're very talented. They took their lumps the past couple of years. They still may face an uphill struggle clearly to try to compete in this district, Emmanuel, but there's no question about it. The Tigers are very good, and if they can put complete performances together, they'll be tough outs each week.
Absolutely. And Coach, you mentioned about how the Catholic League games used to be defensive struggles on the scoreboard, and we're seeing in a nutshell why these games have become more offensive, and that's the versatility of the guys at the skill position and the versatility of these offenses.
Is incredible. Not just running, but catching and throwing. I think one of the things that Holy Cross has going forward, is that as Scheck-Snyder gets healthy, you've got a nice balance there between the two. Field shows quickness, that combination to their advantage, because I think they can make it pretty doable.
As the alma maters play, that's our cue to say goodnight. I do want to remind you that the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase is another great rivalry next Friday night. Jesuit and Holy Cross meeting up in a Catholic League showdown, and it'll be live on the BHNO Channel 20 TV as well as live at sportsnola.com. Kickoff at 7 p.m. from Tad Gormley on Friday night. Jesuit and Holy Cross, tradition-wise, it doesn't get much better on the high school level, and it's next week on the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase. For the coach Rick Gailey and Emmanuel Pepis, I'm Jude Young signing off from Hoss Memphis Stadium with a final score of Holy Cross 38, Archbishop Shaw 22. The Tigers win the district opener for both teams, and we wish you a very nice and very enjoyable as the weather cleared up for us and we had a great day of doubleheader football on WGSO. We hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Again, Holy Cross wins it 38-22 over Archbishop Shaw. This has been a presentation of Archbishop Shaw football on WGSO 990 AM at WGSO.com and live video NOLA